Dead Synchronicity.
Hola, 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 hola. ¿Qué tal? Espera. Hola. ¿Sí? ¿Se me oye? Espero que sí. Hola. Que no quiero volver a meter la gamba como en anteriores ocasiones. Marciana metió la pata. Bueno, bienvenides, bienvenidas, bienvenidos a esta nueva Marciana Fiesta, esta nueva partida a un juego, en este caso español, porque sabéis que este mes estamos monotemáticos de videojuegos españoles. Pero antes de explicaros todo esto, como siempre, deciros que nuestra canción es de TrialCore. TrialCore, gracias, te amamos, molas mucho. Y tu canción ya la habéis escuchado. O sea, la canción lo mola todo y ya está. Bueno, pues eso. El jueves tenemos por fin el podcast sobre videojuegos españoles. Y bueno, tenemos invitado especial que lo voy a ir diciendo, así lo voy a ir soltando durante el gameplay. Chan, chan, chan. De todas formas lo diremos en breve en Twitter también. Y nada, he decidido que ya jugamos a Vértigo de Péndulo Studios y ahora tenía pendiente el Dead Synchronicity Tomorrow Comes Today, que es de Fictiorama, el estudio que trajo Do Not Feed the Monkeys, que también lo tenéis en el canal, que lo jugó Dani, y espero que si lo estáis viendo por YouTube salga por algún sitio. ¿Vale? A mí me encanta el Do Not Feed the Monkeys, me encanta ese juego, me flipa, me lo he pasado 650.000 veces y me lo seguiré pasando. Aún hay cámaras que no controlo bien. Y nada, quiero probar a ver qué tal este Dead Synchronicity. ¿Vamos allá? Nueva partida. Os digo que no he jugado nunca.
Recover?
I don't know. It's too soon to say. We should let him rest.
There are thousands of bodies piled in the streets.
He's been very feeble for weeks. He can't get up. He doesn't speak. Do you think we should call a doctor?
Call a doctor? Here?
You're right. Let's just hope he wakes up one of these days. Come on, my friend. Hang on. Don't give up.
Please, let me get
Dun, 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 dun.
Wake up, Michael. Come on, you have to wake up.
What's happening? What is this place? Please, tell me.
Please, Michael, wake up. Wake up.
This silence and this darkness. Where am I? Damn it. I can't remember. Who are you? Who's there?
Michael, please wake up. You have to wake up.
Michael? Is that my name? Please tell me where I am. I can't remember anything. Where are you? Where are you hiding?
Wake up, Michael. Please wake up. Wake up now.
Don't go! Please! Come back! Come back! This silence. This darkness. This emptiness.
Uy, no sé si habéis oído eso, pero creo que ha pasado algo en la cocina del vecino. Tenemos inventario. Una maleta muy chula, por cierto, me gusta mucho el rollo. Supongo que tendremos que coger el quinqué.
Good morning. I hope you're feeling better.
But...
Now don't be alarmed. I'm glad you feel strong enough to get out of bed. That's wonderful news. I must say, you're looking much better, considering what you've been through, of course.
Who are you?
Ah, yes, of course. Forgive my manners. You've been with us for so long that I forgot that you don't know who we are. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rod Atkinson. I was the director of the Municipal Property Registry before, before the world collapsed on us.
Ah, pleased to meet you, Mr. Atkinson. But
Ah, bueno, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Me encanta. Vale, vamos a hacerle la pregunta de si alguien me va a contestar.
where am I?
Sí.
What is this place?
You are in what I venture to call our home, our humble, hopefully temporary home. This is one of the many trailers that make up the refugee camp. And believe me, we can consider ourselves lucky to live between these four walls. Most of the inhabitants of this hellhole, excuse my crude language, have nothing more than plastic tarps and cardboard for shelter.
Wait a second. Did you say refugee camp?
Yes, of course. The Facility for Temporary Accommodation of Disaster Victims is what they called it. You know, after the army declared martial law following the catastrophe. You look a little confused, if you don't mind my saying so. Do you really not know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I'm afraid not. Let me ask you.
Me encantan los diseños, tío. Me gustan mucho. Diseños de personajes. Bueno, a ver qué más vemos. Pero este rollo de... No sé si decir de línea clara, de sombras planas y tal.
Can you tell me what I'm doing here?
Yes, of course. I think we owe you an explanation. A few days after the Great Wave, we found you lying in a ditch near the airport. You were badly injured and unconscious. We couldn't just leave you there. Someone had already stolen your luggage and identification. It was awful. So we decided to take care of you ourselves and brought you here. You've been with us ever since. By the way, I should tell you that when we found you, your clothes were ripped to shreds, so we threw them away. The clothes you're wearing now are mine. You'll find more things in that wardrobe. If you need anything, just help yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Atkinson. But
Necesitamos más información, señora Atkinson. A ver.
you said with us. Who else lives here?
Ah, yes, of course. I still haven't properly introduced my family to you. Now is a bad time, but I promise to make proper introductions later. My wife and I sleep in the other room, and, well, little Colin sleeps with us.
Colin?
Yes, Colin is our only child. Our one ray of hope since the catastrophe. I'm going to confess something to you. Colin is the only reason my wife and I still struggle to keep going in this new world. We would have given up a long time ago if it weren't for him.
Of course. I understand. So that was your wife's voice that woke me up a few minutes ago, right?
My wife? No, that's impossible. My wife has been with me in the other room the whole time. We haven't come out of there for hours. But I'm glad you're feeling better and are fully conscious now. I guess we could say you've been reborn. And although the circumstances aren't the best, simply being alive nowadays is practically a luxury. So, welcome to our home.
The Great Wave? What are you talking about?
Well, what would I be talking about? That damned, excuse my language, explosion that brought ruin to all of us. The origin of this filthy new world that now seems to be our permanent reality. But do you really not remember? Do you really not remember anything about all this?
I feel a little weak and dizzy, Mr. Atkinson. Excuse me. I'm afraid I can't. I can't remember a thing.
I see. There have been many cases like yours in the camp. Try to rest and not to get too agitated. Well, there's one thing I can tell you. You can consider yourself fortunate. There's nothing nice to remember about recent times, believe me.
From what you've told me, I see that you've saved my life. I'm very grateful, Mr. Atkinson.
No, please. You don't have to thank us. We just did what we had to. It's our moral obligation to uphold the ethical principles of civilization in this new world. But call me Rod, please. And, well, we also did it for Colin, you see. What kind of future does he face if we accept that it's every man for himself, that no one cares about anyone else? It's a terrifying prospect, don't you think? We're just doing whatever we can to avoid that future, that's all.
Rod! Rod!
Please excuse me, but I have to leave you now.
No, wait, please. What's happening? Don't go yet.
I'm sorry, I understand that you have a lot of questions to ask me, but now isn't the time. Believe me, I promise to answer each and every one of your questions in peace and quiet later. Sorry, but I have to go.
Rod, please, quickly!
Okay, all right.
Now that you're feeling better, you can go out and take a walk around the camp. But please, be very careful out there. The world you knew before is gone. Heed my warning, don't touch anything. Don't talk to anyone. And don't get mixed up in anything. At least until someone explains to you how things work in this new world the Great Wave left us. Everything has changed so much out there.
All right. Thanks for the advice.
Ah, one more thing before I go. You've been with us for quite a while now, and we don't even know what to call you. What is your name?
My name? Michael. My name is Michael.
Very pleased to meet you, Michael. We'll talk again later, I promise.
Michael. That's what that disembodied voice called me. That must be my name. Wake up, Michael. That's all she said. Leaving me in this immense void where I can't remember anything. Great wave? New world? Refugee camp? But what the devil could have happened out there? I think it might be a good idea to go out there and take a look.
No sé qué decirte, Michael. A ver. Vamos a ver si podemos ponerlo en la música en castellano. En inglés, no, y yo el alemán lo llevo regular. El inglés tampoco es que lo lleve genial, pero hacer la cámara primero.
Well, look at that. When I pulled back the sheet, part of it got torn on the spring sticking out of the bed frame. I hope Rod doesn't notice.
A ver, el saliente este.
The bed frame under the mattress is so battered that one of the springs is turned into a very sharp protruding object.
Me gusta mucho la voz del doblador.
A depressing sight. A damp mattress on a bed frame and dirty, rumpled sheets. This is the bed where I've been convalescing all this time.
Pues nada, vamos a ver. Tenemos un horno en la habitación. Siempre que se tiene la cocina al lado de la cama.
With the glass in the door broken and that thick coating of grease lining it, I doubt anything's been baked in this oven for a long time.
Oh, qué pena. Yo quería hacerme una pizza. Cuando sales de una situación, de un coma y tal, tienes que comer. A ver qué tenemos aquí.
Impossible. It's locked. I'm afraid my host forgot to unlock it before he left. The old closet Rod told me about. It's funny. With the glass and the door shattered, my reflection in the mirror is fragmented, like a photo ripped into little pieces and taped back together.
Wow, qué profundo esto. Hola, Pepaco, ¿qué tal? Pues de momento, o sea, acabo de empezar y no lo he jugado nunca, ¿vale? Pero sí es verdad que me está gustando mucho. De momento, no sé, estoy un poco ahí esperando a ver qué pasa. Que no puedo pasar, ya lo sé,
Impossible.
soy muy pesada.
It's locked. I'm afraid my host forgot to unlock it
Como ya
before he
sabes que
left.
estamos de ciclo de videojuegos españoles, a que lo sabes. Pues nada, aquí estamos. Y lo tenía pendiente hace como 10 millones de años. Fictiorama me encanta. O sea, ya lo he contado antes, que el Dune de X lo tengo que...
It's no use. It won't open.
¿no? Que todavía me
I
da,
heard Rod
pero
bolt it from
me encanta.
inside.
Y este no lo había jugado. Entonces me ha dicho este señor que me tengo que ir, pero no me puedo ir.
I'm not going to snuff out this oil lamp. This place looks sinister enough with light.
En cierta lista guiño guiño. Está bien que en esa lista guiño guiño entonces está bien, he elegido bien. Pero no me deja abrir el guardarropa y no puedo salir a ningún lado.
Impossible. I'm afraid my host...
Vale. Pues nada, como tú sí que lo has jugado, igual me puedes echar a ver, porque Bueno, todavía no. Es pronto para rendirme todavía.
I can hear people whispering on the other side. It's the door Rod went through after hearing those moans, the same one he made sure to bolt shut.
A ver, ¿no tenemos un cerrojo por ahí? Es que no me deja.
With the glass in the door broken and that thick coating of grease lining it, I doubt anything's been baked in this oven for a long time.
Mucho tiempo. Y hace además 1000 millones de años que no uso, ¿sabes? Que no...
There's a very worn old notebook hidden under the lid.
Así que estoy muy
The cover is practically falling off the spiral binding. It looks like someone stashed it here some time ago and then forgot about it.
Que por cierto, he visto en la página web de la compañía que van a sacar un juego nuevo, se supone que este año. Y yo estoy que no puedo. O sea, vale, espera. Gracias por decírmelo. A ver. Vamos a bajar un poquito el juego. Es que como tengo yo la manía de que grito mucho... Bueno, tenéis que oírle a él. Tampoco pasa nada, pero bueno. ¿Mejor ahora? A ver. A ver.
It's a bit dented.
¿Qué tal?
It was used to
¿Ahora
cover
se
a
me oye?
very large roasting
Okay.
pan. In fact, it still has some traces of food stuck to it.
Ñam, ñam.
It's an old accounting ledger that still has a few blank pages left in it. From what's written
Vale.
in here, it looks like someone was using it as a diary before ripping out almost all its pages and leaving it inside the oven in the trailer.
A ver, un segundo, que voy a intentar... Me voy a subir más el micro, ¿va? Bajaremos un poquito más el audio del escritorio. Es que quiero que lo oigáis. Espero que luego no haya problemas de copyright, que el otro día con el juego misterioso nos saltó y fue un poco de... ok. Ha vuelto a hablar con sus abuelos, con mis padres muertos. ¡Wow! Sus ausencias son cada vez más largas y aterradoras. Su madre está sufriendo demasiado. Hemos acordado guardar el arma con 2 balas dentro de la caja de galletas. Esto tiene pinta de que ha pasado algo muy feliz. Su madre está sufriendo demasiado. Hemos acordado guardar... Uy. Que Dios nos perdone cuando se vaya, pero no hay futuro para nosotros en él. El rugido de esa brecha en el cielo sigue aterrando a Colin. Están hablando del hijo de señor Atkinson. El Altísimo ha decidido rasgar el cielo y anima a sus ángeles a castigarnos a través de la herida. Nos lo dice el padre Blake. ¿Quién es el padre Blake? Es un hombre santo. Esta A, que no parece una A, sino que parece una O, me reí un poco. Mis subordinados, mis compañeros, mis superiores, es que ya nadie se acuerda de Rod Atkinson ahí fuera. O sea que sí, que es un diario suyo. Pero debemos ser fuertes por el niño. La gran ola no podrá arrebatarnos quienes somos. Qué chulo, tío. Visualmente me parece una locura. O sea, una locura, pero una locura. A ver, los
A
trastos de
pile of
cocina.
frying pans, plates, and dirty silverware waiting to be washed.
O sea, me han estado
This place smells like a cheap, greasy spoon.
curando en la puñetera cocina. O sea, porque estamos en la cocina.
It's a bit dented. It was used to cover a very large... In fact, it still has some traces of food stuck to it.
Comida rancia. Vale, pero yo... A ver si igual con la tapadera puedo
I don't
hacer
see
ruido.
anything here that could be covered.
No quiero taparlo, quiero...
If I want to open up the closet, this isn't the way.
Vale.
This spring sticking out of the bed frame is as sharp as a knife. Better not touch it.
Voy a
Use
usar...
this here?
No,
How?
no quería usarlo.
Better not.
Chirrido no me sirve. Bueno. Pues a ver, ¿qué hacemos, tío? Me he quedado muy loca con el cuaderno, la verdad. Creo que Colin no está bien del todo, sinceramente. No sé qué pensáis, ¿eh? Creo que Colin no está muy bien. Esta parte es dificililla, vaya, por Dios. Lo bueno es que no te dejan salir y no te vuelves loco. Más mapa. Bueno, vale. Me acuerdo, estoy
The
mirando
mattress
aquí la
still shows
cama
the imprint of my body. I must have been lying on it much longer than I thought.
y no puedo evitar pensar en el Igor objetivo Wico Cajonia. Porque siempre que veo una cama en una aventura gráfica tengo que pensar en el Igor.
It's an unframed
La cama
snapshot,
solo se usa para dos
stuck
cosas
directly
y
on the
sueño
wall of
no
the room.
tengo.
2 adults and a child smiling at the camera in what looks like an enormous yard. One of them is Rod, my host.
O sea que tenemos unas fotografías de Rod y su familia. Aquí se supone que no me dejaba entrar. Ah, sí.
Good God.
Vamos a salir.
What the hell happened here? Rod was right. I don't know what hit this place. But whatever it was, it struck into its very foundations, without any mercy whatsoever.
Wow.
What's happening now?
You better hide, dude. Don't you know that it's dangerous to show your face when the cleanup brigades come into the camp? You're new here, aren't you?
Sí, muy nuevo.
You could put it that way.
Well, welcome to your new home. I'm Hank, but everyone calls me the Hunter.
I'm
Hank the
Michael.
Hunter.
But what's going on up there?
Nothing, Mike, just routine. The cleanup brigades are taking away a sick person, a dissolved. You know how it is, just doing their job. Ironically, that house belongs to one of the camp moles. Those traitorous scumbags.
Muchas cosas, claro, sí, exacto.
I don't
Gracias,
know what
gracias
you're
Michael,
talking
porque yo
about.
tampoco.
I can't remember anything.
Oh, I see, you're a blankhead. Well, you better get up to speed real quick if you want to survive here, Mike. Find me if you need help, dude. I can get you whatever you need. Doesn't matter where it is, how fast it runs, or where it tries to hide. That's why they call me the Hunter.
Ya,
All right. I'll remember that.
Come back here. Don't take her away. Don't you know who I am? Come back here.
Bien, esa distopía va bien, ¿eh? De
They shot that poor
momento,
man in cold blood. But why did they do that?
de momento vamos bien
Hank?
de distopía, vamos bien.
I'm afraid he's gone.
Ah, por eso estaba... Vale, que estoy en la caravana. Por eso estaba el horno al lado de la cama. Vale, ya lo entiendo todo. Fuck.
But what's happening? What is this?
What?
What the hell's going on here? Good God. I think I'm starting to lose my mind.
Sí, y yo también. ¿Hola? ¿Qué acaba de pasar?
It's the lot outside Rod's trailer. The ground is covered with trash, scrap metal, and broken glass. Something tells me it might not be a good idea to walk around here barefoot.
Vamos a ver qué hay en el coche.
Time has left these hinges bent and rusted. There's no way I'm going to be able to break open this door with my bare hands.
Dale una patada.
This tangle of metal was a driver's door once upon a time. Neglect and rust have left it completely stuck.
Bueno, vamos a ver. Venga, no seas violento. Vale, de acuerdo. Ay, yo y mi manía de ser violenta. Bueno. Vamos a ver qué hay en el carrito. No, pero no quería coger nada.
Hey, you! Don't even think of
Sí,
putting
normal.
your paws
Pobre
on
señor,
that
pero
shopping
aquí
cart. Stay
no le he
away
dicho
from
ni hola.
my stuff, or I swear I'll rip your guts out with my bare hands.
Vale, vale, vale.
Okay,
Vale.
okay, calm down. I won't touch anything.
Todo bien, todo bien. Señor, todo bien.
Someone improvised a bonfire inside that drum. Although the smoke starts to irritate the lungs pretty quickly, it seems like the only heating system the camp inhabitants have. He must be one of the inhabitants of the refugee camp. What the hell has he got in that shopping cart full of junk?
Le puedes preguntar en vez de intentar robarle.
Ouch!
Señor.
Damn it! I managed to rip open the sole of my foot in a rusty nail.
Qué bien, estupendo.
Hey, it's not a good idea to walk around barefoot in this enormous trash heap. You won't get very far without shoes.
Yeah, thanks for the tip.
The tip is yours to keep. But if you come near my things, you're a dead man. Understood? Wait,
Sí, señor,
I
que sí.
recognize you. Aren't you the guy Rod's been taking care of in his
Correcto.
trailer all this time?
Yes, I
Correcto.
am. Do you know Rod?
Of course I do. Everyone in the camp knows Rod.
Perdón.
You owe him your life. Don't doubt that for a second. Nowadays, no one in his right mind would do what he did for you. For a total stranger.
Yes, I'm very grateful to him. But tell me, can I
Y
ask you a
ahora
few
tampoco,
questions?
¿eh? O sea, en nuestra sociedad ahora mismo, ¿sabes? No te encuentras a un tío tirado en mitad de la calle y lo recoges y te lo llevas a tu casa. Cuéntame
Tell me
sobre
about
Rod.
Rod Atkinson.
Well,
Estoy ahí
I
moscado.
don't know him very well, but they say he's decent enough. Too decent for the times we're living in. Did you know that before coming here he was someone important? I think he worked for the government.
Bueno,
and he
registrados de
still
la
has some
propiedad,
good
¿no?
contacts on the outside. But they're not good enough to get that stupid do-gooder and his family out of here.
Stupid do-gooder?
Well,
Exacto.
you know how it is. Rod is one of those good Samaritans who think they can save the world. He has helped a lot of people in the camp, but I think he's going to run into problems.
¿Por qué?
I reckon that he's too weak for these times. I don't know how long he'll be able to survive.
You said he had a son. A pretty good reason to hang on, don't you think?
Yes, Colin. I haven't seen that kid running around here for some time. Do you know if he's all right?
I don't know. I still haven't seen him.
A ver,
His
si
father
está
told me
todo
about
lleno
it.
de hierros y
Well,
tal,
I'm
también
glad he's
entiendo que el
not
niño no vaya
anywhere
por
near
ahí
me.
haciendo el loco.
That brat doesn't have anything better to do than to try to snoop in my shopping cart.
Este señor ha pasado por muchas cosas. Lo estoy viendo que ha pasado por muchas cosas. A ver. Venga, vamos a preguntarle por la granola. Va a pensar que estamos de la olla. ¿Qué acaba
The
de suceder?
shooting.
Venga,
Could you
explícanos.
explain to me what
Porque...
just happened here?
Explain what exactly? That show the cleanup brigades put on? Someone got too chatty and ratted out a sick person, that's all. There's usually a pact of silence in the camp. No one likes to see one of their own in those ambulances. But in this case, the dissolved was a relative of one of the camp moles. Ironic, isn't it?
But they shot a man.
Claro,
Yes,
gracias.
so they did.
¿Han disparado
So
a alguien?
what? The price of human life has gotten a lot cheaper lately. That needn't surprise anyone these days.
Pues todo bien. Ahora mismo estoy pensando muy fuerte en Fahrenheit 451. Disuelta. Me gusta mucho cómo han hecho el cambio de... O sea, como de la reinterpretación, ¿no? El rollo de ambulancia igual a un vehículo que lleva a que te salve la vida, o por lo menos lo intenten. Ambulancia igual a gente que viene a matarte. Es interesante eso.
Did you say dissolved?
Disuelta.
Of course, dissolved. But what the hell's wrong with you? Those people are a real plague. They're sick. And so they say.
Mira,
highly
también muy actual el
contagious.
tema.
Let me give you a piece of advice about them. If you see one, run the other way like he was the devil himself. Even if they don't give you that deadly disease or drive you crazy with their trances, the cleanup brigades will kill you for hiding one.
Qué buena
You
gente de
saw
las
it with
brigadas de
your own
limpieza.
eyes.
Qué
They don't even respect their own camp moles.
Un topo del campo, ¿qué es
A
eso?
camp mole?
O sea, bueno, sé lo que es
What
un
is that
topo normal,
exactly?
pero creo que
A
no se
spy, a
refiere a este.
stool pigeon. It's in the Army's interest to control the camp from inside. And so they pay some of the inhabitants to feed them information about what happens on this side of the
Mira tú.
fence. Who comes in, who goes out, who causes trouble. And, of course, who gets sick. They're
Venga.
scumbags, but very well-paid scumbags. And they have certain privileges
suele
that
pasar.
no one else in here has. Never trust a mole. They'll do anything to hang on to the favors the army gives them in this hellhole.
Okay,
Wow.
I'll take your advice.
Venga,
You're
va.
welcome. But stay away from the shopping
Que
cart
sí,
or I'll
que no te
rip
tocó
your
tu
guts
carrito.
out. Got
Hijo
it?
mío. Bueno, ¿qué tipo de persona pensáis que vamos a ser? ¿De los que enferman? ¿De los que chivan? ¿O de los que...? De momento somos del tipo de persona que no se entera de nada. Vale. He oído algo sobre una enorme explosión, la granola. ¿A
I've been
qué
hearing
demonios se
about an
refieren?
enormous explosion. The Great Wave. What on earth are they talking about?
What the fuck?
What kind of question is that? Where have you been
¿Dónde he
all
estado
this
todo este
time?
tiempo?
Sleeping in a
Sí,
cave?
durmiendo sí.
Well, you could say that.
The Great Wave is
¿Qué
the
tal me cae la
reason
gente
we're
por aquí?
confined here
De
like
momento estoy un poco a la
animals.
expectativa
The
porque
entire
hay demasiadas
world
cosas
went to hell in a
sorprendentes.
handcart that day,
Este
and
señor
we
de
went
momento me
with
da
him.
un poco de
Well.
penica.
I'll be going on my way. Good luck to you, pal.
Just be sure to stay away from my
Me voy
thing.
a ganar una fama de gruñona con, con estos gameplays.
A supermarket shopping cart full of plastic bags, ready to burst. This individual who looks like a bum Never takes his eyes off it. And the swarm of insects fluttering around the
Esto
merchandise
de
don't
dar por
either.
sentado que es un vagabundo... ¡Ya no!
A bunch of shacks, trying valiantly to stay standing in a sea of mud and trash. I
Esto hace
can't
coña,
imagine
ya
how
lo
it must
sé.
be to live in one of
Tranqui,
them.
Pepaco. Siempre le da ahí un poco de vidilla. Pero bueno, que si me gano fama de gruñona, pues igual bien ganada está, ¿sabes? Vale. Vamos a ver. Es que si entro... Por aquí tengo más
No.
camino.
With my
Claro,
foot in
es
this
verdad, sí.
condition,
Es verdad,
I
los
wouldn't get
pies.
very far. I think it would be better to go back inside the
Sí, sí, sí,
trailer
sí,
and
sí.
try to take care of this wound.
Sí, sí, sí.
It doesn't look too good.
Se me estaba olvidando que vamos un poco desangrándonos por el pie. Vamos a utilizar... Ah, yo pensaba que podríamos utilizar la sábana.
A depressing sight. A damp mattress on a bed frame and dirty, rumpled sheets. This is the bed where I've been convalescing all this time.
Sí, eso lo sabíamos, pero se suponía que se había roto. No se suponía que se había roto la sábana y a lo mejor podíamos utilizar la sábana. Hola Dani, ¿qué tal, amor? ¿Cómo estás? Aquí estamos en una distopía maravillosa. Este juego creo que te va a gustar, ¿sabes? Yo quisiera golpear el armario hasta que me dejen abrirlo.
If I want to... Better not. The squeak of the protruding bed springs scraping against this metal lid would grate...
Vale. ¿Puedo abrir ya? No me deja abrir.
It's no use. It won't open. I heard Rod bolt it from inside.
Sí, lo sé. Como al Do Not Feed the Monkeys ya jugaste tú, ya sabes que me encanta ese juego. Pues he decidido que yo iba... Mira, voy a usar la tapa de la olla con los cachados de...
I don't see anything here that could be covered.
Vaya. Pues he decidido que iba a jugar un poquito a este. A ver qué tal, porque lo tengo pendiente desde hace 1000 años. Aunque Pepaco, que también que ya lo ha jugado, ya me ha dicho que esta parte es dificililla. O sea, que estoy un poco en plan de... Vale, ok.
This
Ya no
oven
había
is
nada más.
empty, dirty, and abandoned.
Jolín, es
There's
que es
nothing
todo
left in
tan-
there that could interest me.
Distopía total. Todo horrible, todo mal. Se supone que tengo que venir a arreglarme el pie, pero no sé cómo lo voy a hacer. Porque me acabo de pinchar con algo del suelo. Que está todo pues un poco hecho una mierda. Así las cosas como son.
This individual seems a little unhinged. Nothing strange about that, considering what this place is like. And judging from his threats, I don't seem to have made a very good impression on him.
Pero me mola, lo decía al principio del juego, me mola este rollo de dibujo de personajes estilo línea clara de cómic. Me gusta mucho.
Can I ask you a few questions?
I'll answer anything you want,
Que
as long
sí,
as you
hombre, que
don't
sí.
get near my
Que
stuff.
sí, que tus cosas son tuyas. Bueno, vale.
Well,
Just be sure to
Que
stay
sí.
away from my things.
Que sí, cariño. Que tus cosas son tuyas. Ay, no puedo coger.
that must be little Colin, Rod's son. He looks unwell. Was that him I heard moaning in pain inside the trailer?
Pues parece ser que lo de... Bueno, a ver, Dani, te resumo. Ahora mismo, básicamente el resumen es que estamos en una distopía donde se ha ido todo al carajo y las ambulancias vienen a recogerte para matarte, ¿vale?
That's Rod's
Básicamente
wife.
es eso.
I heard her calling him from the other side of that door that just closed behind him.
Y si
She
estás
looks
enfermo
worn out with
o
those dark
enferma o
circles under
enferme,
her eyes.
pues
She looks like she hasn't
mejor que no
slept
te
in
pillen.
days. Rod seems upset and worried. What's going on in there?
Pues
From
eso digo.
here, it looks like one of those metal boxes for Danish butter cookies. And
Es
judging
verdad, es
from
la
how
típica
worn
caja de
it looks,
galletas.
I'd say that it's been reused over and over again.
Living the dream, sí, totalmente. Cristal de la ventana.
It's hard to see clearly through all the grime on this glass. On the other side is the room where Rod and his family have locked themselves away.
Me gusta mucho que se le vea el reflejo ahí, tío. Está currado, está muy currado el juego. No puedo abrirlo. Voy a darles golpetazos. Estoy aquí.
I don't think I'd gain anything by
Estoy
using this
aquí.
here.
No puedo abrirlo. Y sí, Colin tiene como los ojos rojos. ¿No será un rollo virus zombie o algo de eso, no? ¿Y esto verde que hay aquí? Bueno, creo que aquí ya no tenemos mucho más que hacer. Es que quisiera yo ir a curarme, pero no tengo nada. No sé, algo.
Time has left these hinges bent and rusted. There's no way I'm going to be able to break open this door with my bare hands.
Señor,
Overflowing, dirty, and infested with flies. This will be
el
Diogenes'
sueño de
dream shopping
Diógenes.
cart.
Aquí ya sabéis. Aquí se habla de juegos,
The
programa
ground in
cultural.
this lot is full of trash, scrap metal, and broken glass. This is where I learned my first lesson in this new world. If you want to avoid problems, watch your step.
Wow, es que todos los diálogos son como tan... Iba a decir peliculero. No son peliculeros, son como muy tajantes, no sé. Vale. Es que no puedo abrir el guardarropa.
Impossible. It's locked. I'm afraid my host forgot to unlock it before
¿Y
he
por
left.
qué no le das una patada? Si aquí todo tiene pinta de que se va a romper con nada, con... A ver, y ahora ya
It's
reconozco
an
más
unframed
gente.
snapshot, stuck directly on the wall of the room. 2 adults and a child smiling at the camera in what looks like an enormous yard. One of them is Rod, my host.
Pues... A ver... El horno ya no lo puedo... la
The
cama
mattress
este.
still shows the imprint of my body. I must have been lying on it much longer than I thought.
Las aventuras gráficas, para que no lo conozcas, son así, ¿vale? Das 25 vueltas.
I can hear people whispering on the other side. It's the door Rod went through after hearing those moans.
Por alguna
The
razón yo
same one
pensaba...
he made sure to bolt shut.
Yo pensaba que la puerta iba a dar como a una especie de pasillo, ¿sabes? La cama tiene pinta de cómoda. Sí, esto que se ve aquí es un
The
saliente.
bed frame under
Muy
the mattress
divertido.
is so battered that one of the springs is
¿Ves?
turned
Esta
into
ya-
a very sharp protruding object.
Tenemos aquí un cuchillo. No sé si usarlo.
I'd only end up scratching
Claro,
or breaking
no,
it.
a mí tampoco me parece.
Best to leave it
pero bueno.
alone.
Es que lo primero que hemos hecho ha sido abrir la cama y entonces al abrir la cama se supone que se ha rajado la sábana, pero ahora mismo no parece que este señor esté cayendo en que puede usar la sábana para vendarse el pie, que es lo que queríamos hacer. Así que estamos un poco... Estamos un poco buscando aquí cosas. No sé si es que... No sé qué te falta, la verdad. No puedes salir ya por ahí. Es que no me deja. A ver. Dice que no va a irse por ahí, que tiene el
No.
pie hecho polvo.
With my foot in
Claro.
this condition, I wouldn't get very far. I think it would be better to go back inside the trailer
dice
and try
eso
to take
que-
care of this wound. It doesn't look too good.
Y es verdad. O sea, si esto fuera un juego de sierra, ¿vale? Si esto fuera el, yo qué sé, el 5 es 5, ya habría muerto. O sea, llevo 5 minutos dando vueltas por aquí y todavía no me he curado la herida. Me hubiera muerto desangrado ya. O sea, tal cual. Pero... No ven muy lejos, vale, o sea que sí que tiene que ver con el dichoso, la dichosa sábana. ¿Qué hago?
I don't see anything here that could be
Claro,
covered.
no puedo tapar esto.
I don't see any.
No sé por qué
I'm
estoy
afraid I
haciendo
can't
esto,
do
pero
that.
claro, no tiene mucho sentido. ¿Será como el Hollywood Monsters?
Impossible. It's locked. I'm afraid my host forgot to unlock it before he
El
left.
principio del Hollywood Monsters, no sé si lo habéis jugado.
Impossible. It's locked. I'm afraid my host forgot to unlock it before he left.
Dale con la tapa de la olla al armario, dice Dani. Bueno, lo voy a intentar, aunque creo que ya lo hemos hecho.
If I want to open up the closet,
Pues no,
this
es una
isn't the
persona
way.
pacífica. Estamos en un momento de ciencia ficción
I'm not going to snuff out this oil lamp.
intenso.
This place looks sinister enough with
Dani,
light.
la violencia no es la solución, parece ser. Tú sabes que soy de las tuyas, pero
This oven is empty, dirty,
No me
and
deja
abandoned.
usarlo.
There's nothing left in
Hay
there
que
that can
romper.
interest me.
pues no. Yo quería romper, pero que no me han dejado. Pues no que yo sepa. De todas formas, todo el mundo tranquilo, que tampoco me estoy agobiando todavía. Cristal creo que no. Aquí abajo parecía que había. Tengo el quinqué. Pero...
This oil lamp is the room's only source of light. The flickering of the flame makes the
¿ves? Es
room
que es
look
todo
ghostly,
súper...
like in a dream. More like in a
Wow.
nightmare.
Wow. Es que no me deja tampoco
The
coger
old
el
closet
cristal.
Rod told me about. It's funny. With the glass in the door shattered, my reflection in the mirror is fragmented, like a photo ripped into little pieces and taped back together.
Me gustaría coger cristal, pero tampoco veo que haya. Y ya no sé si meneando más el guardarropa va a caer el cristal.
Impossible. It's
Es
locked.
que es una persona
I'm afraid my
delicada,
host forgot to
Michael.
unlock it before he left.
Es una persona delicada y no sé si podemos romper el horno.
I don't
¿Podemos
see
romper
anything
el
here
horno?
that could be covered.
Yo tiro por la violencia como tú, Dani. O sea, no me escondo, ¿vale? No te preocupes, sí, es cuestión de encontrarlo. Querría abrir la puerta del coche, pero no me deja. Y supongo que con la tapa de la olla me va a
Doesn't look
decir
like it's having any effect.
claro, que encenando me acueste, que se dice en mi casa. No sé si en la vuestra también. Hombre, tengo la ventana. Igual puedo romper el cristal de la ventana, pero no parece que me deje. Igual te equivocas. Jugué hace 5 años. Bueno, es que el juego ya tiene tiempo en realidad, ¿eh? Creo que es... Esto igual Dani puede googlearlo. Creo que es el primer juego de Fictiorama Studios que en realidad se financió por Kickstarter, si no recuerdo mal. Creo que sí, se financió por Kickstarter. Tengo por ahí todavía la tarjeta, el primero. Tengo por ahí todavía la tarjeta que me dieron cuando los vi en... Es que ya no recuerdo si era en la Barcelona Games World o en Retro Madrid. Supongo que sería en la Barcelona Games World, pero ahora mismo no...
Nothing but leaky roofs and cardboard walls that would blow away in the wind if they weren't tied down. Good God.
Pero
The very
vamos,
look of this place
me
is
conocéis.
disheartening.
Voy a una convención de videojuegos. Hay unas personas presentando un point and click. ¿Dónde va Ana? ¿Dónde va? ¿Dónde va Marxianna? Pues eso. Vale. Luego será la cosa más tonta del mundo, de verdad. Y sabemos que eso va a ser así. Pero... no sé si es que estoy confundiendo algo. Que tengo algo por aquí. A ver, la primera escena de una aventura gráfica suele como marcar un poco, o por lo menos en mi experiencia yo lo suelo ver así, como el tipo de puzzles, el tipo de dinámicas que va a haber durante toda la aventura gráfica, ¿vale? Entonces, puede ser que esté teniendo un problema de que no estoy observando bien y hay cosas que me falta por mirar. Y entonces ya sé que en esta aventura gráfica tengo que ir como muy al detalle. Puede ser que lo que esté pasando sea que simplemente estoy teniendo un lapsus y no sé qué combinar, aunque no tengo mucho que combinar. Y puede ser que sea una aventura gráfica que sea más de utilizar el escenario y me está faltando hacer eso. Son las 3 opciones que se me ocurren. En mi experiencia con aventuras gráficas.
With the glass in the door broken and that thick coating of grease
Claro,
lining
¿ves? Aquí
it,
también
I
está
doubt anything's been baked in
el...
this oven for a long time.
Este roto. El saliente es que no lo podemos coger. Y yo quisiera poder cortar un trozo de la cama, pero es que no me deja. O sea, lo más normal, lo lógico. A ver, tú tienes una cama con una sábana y tienes un pie escachuflado. Ole yo y mi tecnicismo que parece... Aquí el juego con los diálogos súper construidos y no sé qué. Y yo aquí hablando de escachuflar. Ole yo. Bueno, que... Claro, exacto. O sea, lo normal es que te lo vendes. Y tienes aquí una sábana.
A depressing sight. A damp mattress on a bed frame and dirty, rumpled sheets. This is the bed where I've been convalescing all this time.
Sí, eso creo que nos lo has dicho antes, baby. Pero lo que son las sábanas en sí, no las estamos... O sea, es como la cama en general. Entonces, tampoco nos deja... Sí, lo hemos
This
mirado
spring
antes.
sticking out of the bed frame is as sharp as a knife. Better not touch it.
Y puedo... corta como un cuchillo. Bueno, Pepaco ya me había dicho que esto era una parte a lo mejor un poco complicada. Entonces, tampoco me importa mucho. En mí mismo no me estoy olvidando nada, que eso también me ha pasado alguna vez. Que lo que se te olvida es mirarte a ti mismo. Supongo que no puedo usar nada conmigo misma. De momento no. Y luego puede pasar eso, el momento Hollywood Monsters, ¿sabes? Que hasta que no intentas abrir la puerta 3 veces, no sale Frankenstein. Mal spoiler, pero es el principio. ¿Vale? Además es que el mismo juego me dice que tengo que venir aquí a arreglarme el pie. Entonces no puede ser tan complicado. Algo se me está escapando fuerte.
A pile of frying pans, plates, and dirty silverware waiting to be washed. Ugh, this place smells like a cheap, greasy spoon.
Y no tenemos agua tampoco. ¿Qué digo si tenemos? Pobre Sue. Al suelo. Sue es la protagonista. Sue es la protagonista de... Por lo menos la primera protagonista del Hollywood Monsters. Y efectivamente, es la que tiene que intentar entrar en esa fiesta donde está Frankenstein y hasta que no intentas 3 veces entrar, el señor Frankenstein no sale. Y ella, efectivamente, cuando él abre la puerta acaba en el suelo. Muy bien, bien visto. Esos chistes malos. Nos falta Juan aquí. Yo es que para los chistes lo podéis ver en Hablando al Pedo. Los chistes, yo no soy la de los chistes, para eso está Juan.
With the glass and the door I doubt
Que sí, vale. Pero no me dejas tampoco.
I don't see anything here. I don't quite see how I could use this here.
Pues dándole una leche, de verdad. Dani, necesitamos darle una lección de violencia a este señor. Por favor, te lo pido. Y es que el quinqué tampoco...
I'm not going to snuff out this oil lamp. This place looks sinister enough with light.
Pero tienes una ventana aquí, no se ve el exterior, ni puedes, no sé. Ay, perdonad.
The enormous trailer that serves as a home for Rod and his family. I find it hard to imagine that this heavy old monstrosity ever traveled on the highway.
Ya se ha acostumbrado este señor a... Ya se ha acostumbrado este señor a todo lo que es el mundo posapocalíptico. Es que no me va a dejar irme. Y el bidón solo podemos mirar y del carrito supongo que no podremos sacar nada.
Hey, you! Don't even think of putting your paw. Stay away from my stuff, or I swear I'll rip your guts out with my bare hands.
Okay, calm down. I won't touch anything.
Mira, ¿y si intentamos darle la tapa a este señor? Que igual le mola.
I'd better hold on to it. I don't think anyone else would be interested in this old dented piece of metal.
Y lo otro que se me ocurre es
Let's
tapar el
see.
bidón.
I could swear that the lid is just the right size for this drum. Perfect.
¿Y ahora aquí?
Damn it! What's going on?
Acabamos de llegar y ya estamos
Damn
haciendo...
shithole! This is going to be the end of us.
Y ahora sí que le puedo robar.
Before this man stops coughing. Let's see
Vale,
what we have
empezamos robando. Todo bien.
here. Ugh. I don't see anything but rotten food, tattered clothes, and trash. Wait a minute. It seems like there's also a small billfold with a bunch of credit cards.
Shithole is going to be
What the hell is this guy doing with so much plastic money?
Pero ¿para qué
I have
quieres?
no intention of putting my hand back in there. There's nothing
Sí,
else in that
porque-
shopping cart that
vale.
interests me.
Sí, porque igual también cogemos el tifus, aparte
This
de...
guy's in no condition to hold a conversation right now.
Y me gustaría volver a... Bueno, pues... Ahora tenemos tarjetas de
These the
crédito.
charred and misshapen remains of a bank card. I'm assuming there's anyone capable of finding a cash machine working.
Bueno, no creo que encontremos un cajero automático y tampoco creo que... No creo. Yo no es por quitarte la ilusión, Michael, pero no creo. Pero las tarjetas normalmente pueden servir para...
I'm
abrir
afraid it's
puertas.
no use.
Perdón.
Let's see if I can do this.
Esto. Gracias.
Good. The mechanism gave way on the first try, but the card is trashed. For my sake, I hope that guy outside never finds out about
Ya lo
this.
hicimos en Hollywood Monsters, es cierto. Vale, ya tengo zapatos.
Not just yet. I'm grateful to Rod for his hospitality, but these
Se
old
oye
shoes don't look
el-
very
el
clean.
pitido de
It
la
won't
calle,
take
¿o
more
Dios
than a
mío?
few hours for the wound on my foot to turn really ugly. And the last thing I need now is a serious infection.
Venga, pues tendrá que haber whisky. Tenía que ser whisky, es que sabía que era whisky, lo sabía. La funda de la almohada, todo perfecto. Muy bien. Vale. Pues vamos
For
a
now,
usar
it's
el
just a
whisky.
pillowcase. I don't see any point in soaking it in liquor.
Ah, bueno, venga, pues vamos a cortarla con el saliente.
Okay,
Sutil, sí,
let's see
sí.
how well this protruding bed spring can cut.
Ya está. Igual es que las sábanas también estaban sucias, entonces... Vale.
I'll use a little of what's in the bottle to soak the bandages.
Sí, el resto ya nos lo pimplaremos. Y ahora, ¿cómo hago para...?
A handful of bandages soaked in scotch. I guess I just came up with a homemade antiseptic.
Pues muy bien. ¿Y ahora cómo hacemos para usarlo? ¿Podemos
Here
usar los
goes.
zapatos? Ah,
I'll
vale.
use the bandages on my foot. I hope the alcohol is enough to keep it from getting infected.
A ver, diría que no, pero bueno. Es mejor que
Let's
no tener
pray
nada.
this improvised remedy doesn't lead to a delightful case of gangrene.
¡Yujú, gangrena!
What bastard put a lid on the drum? You tried to suffocate me, you bunch
Sí,
of
la verdad es que hemos
assholes.
sido un
I
poco
think that guy out there
cabroncetes.
just discovered the reason for his sudden coughing fit.
Some coward in this shithole.
Este tío,
wanted to
Michael, empieza a ser un
suffocate
poco
me.
cabroncete.
Me? Who was it? Who was it? Come back here so I can give you back your lid, you son of a bitch.
Youch.
Did you hear that noise, Rod? What's going on out there?
I don't know.
Nada bueno.
I'll go have a look. I think it's that poor drunk who's always hanging around the trailer. He's kicking up a fuss again.
Le
It's a good
regalaremos lo
thing
que queda
poor
del
Colin
whisky,
can't
¿no?
hear his insults.
Don't ever say anything like that again, Rod.
I'm sorry, honey. I wasn't thinking.
¿Acaba de decir que Rod se ha muerto? Venga, cierra. ¿O me ha parecido a mí? ¿Toc toc?
What are you doing here? Get out of here! You've no business being in this room.
Ya.
Rod,
vale, vale,
I'm
vale.
sorry.
Ya le cago.
But what's going on?
Get out of here, Michael! You didn't see anything, understood? Out! Out!
Vale, 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 ya me voy.
Excuse my outburst, Michael. I shouldn't
Si no te puedo
I
denunciar, si
shouldn't
todavía no
have
sé lo
behaved
que
that way. It's
pasa.
not like me. But this new world brings out the worst in all of us. It's just that I can't stand to see Colin suffer this way. So for your own good, please stay away from this room.
Vale.
Away? Why?
Chico, porque
It's
está
no use trying
enfermo.
to hide it. You're bound to find out sooner or later. Colin is very sick, and the authorities claim his illness is highly contagious.
Highly contagious? Is he
¿Es
one
un
of
zombie?
the
¿Un zombie?
dissolved?
Michael, I won't let anyone use that word in my house!
Vale, vale, vale.
Yes, Colin caught that damn disease.
¿Cómo ha podido
But how did
contagiarse
Colin
con
get
él?
infected?
We don't know. No one knows how the disease is spread. The only thing we know is that the disease appeared after the catastrophe, and that it's spreading like wildfire.
So the Great Wave brought the dissolved with it?
Yes, but don't use that word again. Not in this house, anyway. It's so cruel and disrespectful.
Ya, lo de
In
sus
effect,
votos es un poco
that's
raro.
the only thing we know for sure about all this insanity. The Great Wave took everything from us and left us with this epidemic.
And what exactly does the disease consist of?
I don't know, Michael. No one really does. The only news is what the army brings us. They say the disease is highly contagious, and it's our duty to turn over all victims to the cleanup brigades. But no one has ever come back after being carried off in one of those ambulances. No one. So we can't let them take Colin. Do you understand?
Yes, of course I understand.
They say that all the victims are condemned, that there's no salvation for anyone, that at the end of their suffering and their trances lies certain death. I think that even the army is afraid of the victims. Really strange things happen around them, Michael. Things you wouldn't believe.
Te sorprenderías.
What things happen around people infected with the disease?
Strange things with no possible explanation. In their trances, they go places, Michael.
Que estamos enfermos.
They bring back information. They know things. They talk to people who are no longer with us. And we've been living like this for weeks. The things that are happening around Colin are getting more and more confusing and hard to bear.
Decía que se había hablado con sus padres, con los abuelos, no sé qué.
This man's nerves are shot from the exhaustion and stress. What's happening to Colin is terrible.
Ay, Michael, si le hicieras caso a la gente, que tú no sabes nada de este mundo.
You can help us. I'm convinced that our finding you was no coincidence. You've got to help us.
Vale.
But you said yourself that all the victims are condemned. What can I do?
No, all is not lost. In the camp, there are rumors of a cure. It seems that in the city, on the other side of the fence, the victims have access to a drug. But we can't get it here. And my contacts out there, well, let's just say they can't do anything to help.
Me parece que sus contactos están un poco igual, muertecicos.
So there's a drug that can cure them?
Yes, but they say that producing it takes a long time and is very expensive. And so it's reserved for city dwellers who can afford to pay for it.
Pero todavía existe el dinero, o sea, de verdad. De verdad, ¿por qué no abolemos el dinero? Cuando hay una catástrofe nuclear, ¿por qué no es el dinero lo primero en desaparecer? ¿En serio? O sea.
Getting involved looks dangerous. I saw that shooting out there. There's also the possibility of infection.
Infection? Are you afraid for your life, Michael? Without our help, you'd be dead right now.
Eso es cierto.
Dead. Don't forget that.
Sí.
What's more, I could help you in return. I could help you get back what you lost. Don't you see?
Give me back what I lost? But you hardly know me, Rod.
Claro.
I know the essential part, Michael. I know that you're a blankhead.
Blankhead?
Me lo han dicho antes
también. What the devil does that mean?
A blankhead is a person
Escúchame,
with
¿no
no
estáis viendo el
memories,
texto?
who can't remember anything. It seems that the Great Wave had an enormous neurological impact on certain people, Michael. You're not the only one, or even the worst case. There are people who even forgot how to talk and how to walk after the explosion. Some ended up dying of starvation. They forgot what food looked like, how to chew it, even that eating was a necessity. You can consider yourself lucky. You still remember how to keep yourself alive. And that's the important thing. The natural recovery process is slow. It can take months.
Bueno, seguro que hay mucha gente que sabe inglés, pero...
A man without memories is just a shadow. Or even worse, he's nobody. I still have some contacts out there. I was an important man in the municipal government. I could trace your name, your data in public records, your fingerprints.
Mira.
I could restore your whole life in the blink of an eye.
No sé si quiero eso
but
tampoco,
please, help us.
I'm grateful for your help, Rod, and for everything you people have done for me. But
listen to
sí, no
me,
te
Michael.
Preocupes.
We know that it's possible that our son is condemned to die. In fact, my wife and I have everything prepared for when he leaves us. Our child is the only thing that keeps us holding on in the new world. Nothing would have any meaning for us without him. So if there is even the slightest chance of saving him, we are prepared to do whatever it takes. Please, Michael, help us.
Espera, sí, voy a arreglar lo de la cama,
listen to him. He's just a child.
Rod, come in here, quickly!
Bring us that cure, and we'll help you get your life back. Colin is our only hope in this new world. Help us save our future, and I'll give you back your past. I promise you.
Está costando mucho convencer a Michael, ¿eh?
No, Rod,
o sea,
wait.
que es un
Bring a
crío.
drug? Is he out of his mind? That man wants me to put his son's life in my hands?
Ya, igual
I
eso
can
es un
barely
poco
remember
loco.
who I am. And I probably wouldn't last more than a few hours out there. But Rod was right. A man without a past is nothing more than his shadow. He offered to help me get my life back, my memories. So if I want answers, I have only one possible course of action, to get that drug.
Vale. Voy a hacerlo así un poco in situ, ¿vale? Vais a ver aquí todo el repertorio de variaciones que voy a hacer en la cam, pero es que es verdad que es que no estáis viendo nada. Y también pues como que me sabe mal. Se trata de que disfrutéis también del juego. A ver si encogiéndolo un poco más, ¿sabes? ¡Ugh! De hecho, podría encogerlo mucho más porque en realidad tengo toda esta zona, que lo que estáis viendo es armario, así que tampoco... Más o menos. A ver. Perdonad, ¿eh? Y la cam cogeremos hasta aquí, más o menos. No sé ya ni lo que estoy haciendo. A ver la cam. Vale. Y eso sí. Ah, vale, que he cogido el marco de la cam sin darme cuenta. Vale, vale, vale. Bueno. Vamos a ver si con esto sirve, ¿vale? Disculpad este pequeño break. Vamos a moverlo todo para allá. Ha quedado un poco regulinchi, pero bueno. También puedo quitar la cam si queréis, ¿eh? Que al final lo importante es el juego. Que verme a mí la jeta tampoco tiene mucho misterio. Pero bueno. Vale, lo dejamos así. Venga, que quiero seguir, que quiero seguir. Vamos a ver cómo ya tenemos un fin.
Wait a minute. Before leaving, I should write down everything important I find out in this
Vale.
notebook. It might
Vale.
come in handy if, as Rod says, I'm one of the blankheads the great wave left in its wake.
A ver qué has escrito, chiqui. O sea que esto va a ser nuestro diario. Muy bien, escueto, una frasecita, todo bien, perfecto. Lo veo bien. Vale. Hablamos con
Can
este
I ask you
señor.
a few questions?
I'll answer anything you want, as long as you don't get
No,
near
no le ha
my
cambiado en
stuff.
absoluto el hecho de haber estado a punto de enfermar.
Well,
Venga, hasta
I'll be going
luego.
on my way. Good luck to you, pal.
Just be sure to stay away from my things.
Venga, ¿queréis que hagamos apuestas? ¿Qué pensáis que era este señor? O sea, ¿cuál pensáis que es su pasado? Igual le podemos dar esto a este señor.
I don't think it's a good idea to offer him a swig. The guy's already pretty unhinged.
Vale. Yo quería hacerle un regalo, ya que nos hemos sido cabroncetes, pero bueno. Las tiendas de campaña. Pues, what?
Damn it. What's going on?
Eso digo yo. ¿Qué pasa?
It's amazing. Everything's changing again. Everything. Everything is mutating. And I haven't even moved.
Jolín.
I don't understand.
Yo tampoco,
I don't
no
understand
entiendo
anything.
nada. Igual con lo de blanquearme la cabeza, esto que dice que nos han hecho, que me han hecho.
It's the enormous
A
fence
Michael.
around the perimeter of the camp. With surveillance from the towers and
Nos
on
ha
the
trastornado
ground,
un poco
this
la
barbed
percepción de
wire
la realidad.
fence intensifies the feeling of claustrophobia in here, making
Claustrofobia,
it even
hombre.
more suffocating.
Igual te has pasado, tío. No sé. Vamos por aquí. Vale. Vecinos. Hola,
A thick
vecinos.
wall of scrap metal, debris and rusty metal surrounds this place on all four sides. It's a good 20 feet high. I can't believe it manages to stay up.
Recuerda un poco al Detroit. A ver.
She's a
Mira,
very young
funciona.
woman, practically a girl. She's playing by herself with some junk she found among the scrap metal and trash.
Vamos a hablar con ella.
Hello, Mr. Sleepyhead.
Uy. Hello.
Excuse me?
Claro.
What did you call me?
You're Mr. Sleepyhead. I saw you sleeping in Colin's trailer.
Hombre.
I'm so glad you're awake now.
Oiga, zaneando tampoco, ¿no? Ese no es mi nombre, me
Mr.
llamo
Sleepy.
Michael.
No, that's not my name. I'm Michael.
No, you're just trying to fool me. You're Mr. Sleepyhead. My name is Rose.
There's something odd about this girl's behavior. It's true that she's very young, but she talks like a little
Pues que
girl.
tendrá un
Nice to
trauma,
meet you,
la
Rose.
pobre, o sea, normal.
So, do you know Rod and Colin too?
Of course. I go over to their house a lot. Well, when they let me out of the van, that is. Rod and his wife have been very nice to me. Sometimes they let me play with Colin. We're very good friends. Are you a friend of Rod's and Colin's too, Mr. Sleepyhead?
Haber estado viviendo
Yes.
en su casa.
I'm friends with
Claro,
him too.
poco sí, ¿no? He estado enfermo durante
wasn't
mucho
asleep.
tiempo dentro de esa
I was sick
caravana.
for a long time in that trailer.
No, you
No.
weren't sick. You were sleeping. Like a big brown bear, Sir Sleepyhead.
¿Me regalas una margarita?
Sometimes I used to watch
Socorro.
you sleeping in Rod's house, and you would grunt in your sleep like a bear. A great big lazy bear, Mr.
¿Qué le pasa a esta
Sleepyhead.
señora?
But
¿Qué le
I'm
pasa a esta
glad you're
señora?
awake now. I like your voice. You sound like a knight in a fairy tale. Do you want me to
Es
tell
verdad
you
que la
a
voz
secret,
mola, en eso
Mr.
estoy de acuerdo con
Sleepyhead?
Rose.
Of course.
I have your old clothes.
Ah.
The ones you were wearing when Rod and his wife found you. I have
Ay,
them
pues
in the
dámela.
van. They were
Dámela.
going to throw them away, but they gave them to me to wrap my baby in. He'll be cold now that winter's coming.
Your
What?
baby. You have a baby, Rose?
What?
Yes, I have a baby, but he's not with me right now. He got lost. Have you seen him? Do you know where he is? I have another secret to tell you, Mr.
Dios mío,
Sleepyhead.
muchas cosas quiere contarme esta señorita.
Back in the van, Rose. Now. Move your ass. Get in there.
Another secret? Just a minute. Wait!
Just a minute.
Get in that van, Rose.
It's a very important secret, Mr. Sleepyhead. Something about you. Something about before the Great Wave. But first I
Rose
have to
sabe
find
cosas.
my baby. Have you seen him?
Come on, Rose, you heard me. You don't want to get us mad now, do you?
I have to go. Goodbye, Mr. Sleepyhead.
Poor girl. She's obviously mentally ill. She's just a little girl in a grown-up's body.
Sí, es que verás, han pasado
And you?
cosas.
If you want to go in there with her, you gotta pay like everybody else.
Sí, tenía pinta de esto. Tenía pinta de esto. Y no me estaba gustando. Sí, tenía bastante pinta de esto. Me cago en la leche. Pobrecita Rose.
Those are the guys guarding Rose. They won't let me speak to her if I don't pay the corresponding fee. I
Ya,
believe it
creo
was
que no
called
quieren
pimping before the Great
Sí,
Wave.
yo también creo que se llamaba proxenetismo.
Hey, you guys.
Pobre Rose. Mamá,
You
que
talking to
está
us?
Esa pobre chica no está bien de la cabeza, actúa como una niña. ¿Cómo podéis
That
tener
poor
tan pocos
girl's not
escrúpulos?
waiting
Venga,
ahead.
vamos a hacer amigos.
She acted a little girl. How can you people be so unscrupulous?
Rose is an adult. She's earning a living. Like
Una
we're all
persona adulta.
trying to in this camp.
Mind
Creo que
your own
no es muy
business, pal.
consciente.
You're abusing a poor, disturbed girl.
Us? Taking advantage of Rose? Us? You want to insult us?
We're giving her room and board. She's got nothing to complain about. But she's got to
creo
work.
que sí.
That's the only thing we ask of her in return. That's the way things work now.
Igual estoy
Bring us the
acostumbrada
money,
y no es esto,
then you
pero
can get in the van with her. Hey, do us a favor and spare us all that sanctimonious crap from the
Del
old
viejo
world,
mundo.
pal. Don't waste our time.
Let me into the van. I just want to talk to Rose for a few minutes.
Of course, it's none of our business what you want to do with her. But if you go into the van, you gotta pay the price.
Got any money on you?
No, I don't have any.
Pero ¿cómo puede ser
Then
que
come
sigamos
back when you
teniendo un
do and
sistema de
quit
monedas
bothering us.
de dinero?
We have a
Es que
very
no
busy
entiendo.
schedule, you know?
The girl said something about a secret involving me. Something from before the Great Wave. It seemed important. But what is it? Maybe it was a product of her madness. But I need to talk to her inside that van to get some answers. I'll come back with the money.
Esto de
Now
los
that
primeros
sounds
planos cuando
much
está
better. I see that
pensando
we're starting to speak the same
con
language.
el mismo personaje por detrás y tal, me mola mucho, es muy sci-fi.
This noisy electric generator seems very old and decrepit, but it works.
Bueno, pues ya no.
What exactly do you think you're
Ya,
doing?
sí, me iban a pillar. Si es que eres poco discipulado,
pal,
Mike, hijo mío.
touch that generator and you're a dead man. My partner and I don't kid around when it comes to defending what's ours. That clear?
Extremely. I was just curious and wanted to see this relic up close. You don't have to get nervous.
Bueno. A ver.
These guys have improvised a card table for their poker game by putting a plank on top of 2 old tires. There's no doubt that necessity has sharpened the resourcefulness of the people who live in the camp.
Monedas.
A few lousy coins. They don't look like they're worth much. Just a few loose pennies.
Eso tampoco lo habéis visto. Son monedas, unos pocos centavos. Pero me van a dejar cogerlas.
What exactly do you think you're doing?
Just try putting those grubby little fingers on those coins and we'll
Pero
chop
bueno,
them
esta
off
gente, o
and
sea,
use
yo
them
no
for
puedo usar
poker
la
chips.
violencia y te
Hey,
está todo
will
el
you
mundo
quit
aquí.
bothering us already?
Dani, no nos entienden. De verdad, ¿eh? Bueno. Más chatarra y basura, chatarra y basura.
The wreck of an old ice cream truck. I don't reckon it's going anywhere without its wheels. It looks like the enormous skeleton of a beached whale.
Wow, es que está metafórico. Cada línea del... Es que está bien escrito. Cada línea es como súper profunda. Bueno, igual no es profunda, pero... Ya me entendéis. Un habitante solitario. Un montón de bidones. Más bidones, más bidones. Y un edificio de ladrillo y un cable eléctrico y una lámpara.
Another camp inhabitant. He seems quite elderly. What's he doing here all by himself?
¿Qué está haciendo aquí este señor?
Hello.
Hola.
Hello, son. Would you like to get a little closer to the fire?
Thanks, mister. This is a rather isolated part of the camp. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm waiting. That's all. Just waiting.
Espera, este señor espera. ¿Qué espera usted?
You're
¿Qué es lo que
waiting.
espera?
And what is it you're waiting for exactly?
Nothing in particular. The usual. For the fire to go out, for sunrise, for it to get cold again. I'm waiting for something to change, or for everything to stay as it is. I'm just waiting.
No hay nadie cuerdo en
You're
el
too
campo.
young to
También
understand.
es normal, después de un apocalipsis y todo eso, quieras que no. O sea, la gente solo está cuerda cuando se trata de pasta. Ahí sí que la gente ya parece que...
It's starting to get cold. Where's your tent? Or your trailer?
Yes, I had a tent once. They issued me one when I decided to enter the refugee camp after the Great Wave. A trailer was out of the question. They went to the families with the best contacts. Ah, you know how it is. Even in purgatory, some
Todavía
people
está
are
en el
more
purgatorio
equal
de
than
clase.
others.
¿El problema cuál es? ¿Cuál es? Capitalismo. Siempre. Incluso en el apocalipsis.
You say that you decided to enter the camp. Does that mean that people weren't forced to come here?
Oh, no. Of course not. Why would they have to force us? The catastrophe hit the city hard. Those of us who had lost our homes were invited to come here. In principle, it was temporary, just until the authorities got the situation under control and started
sí.
rebuilding.
Parece que lo de
We used to
reconstruir
have
no...
food, water, and a place to sleep.
But now it's more like a prison camp than a refugee center. What happened?
I don't really know.
Como todos los centros de refugiados que al
guess
final
something went
acaban
wrong.
siendo cárceles.
The new housing they promised us never got built. And in the end, the army ceased control of the camp.
Vaya.
The food
Y el
ran
ejército,
out,
como siempre,
and then the water
metiendo las
supply.
narices.
Nobody bothered to replace them. Seems like our lives didn't matter anymore.
I see.
In time, things in here started to get very ugly. There were riots, uprisings, and the army decided to close the gates of the camp without any notice. One day they decided that no one could enter or leave here.
Mira tú qué bien.
Well, actually, people still could. Enter, that is. Now, this is where anyone who gets in the way in the city ends up. Or anyone they don't know what to do with.
So, this has turned into something like a concentration camp.
That's right,
pero es que es lo que son,
That's
campo de
exactly
concentración.
what it is. You know, it's
Pero
funny.
sin trabajar.
I remember when my father told us about the war in Europe, about all the persecution, deportations, those overcrowded cattle cars. That all sounded to us like an old movie, an old horror movie.
Ya ves.
And
Y
look
no
at us
estamos mejor
now.
ahora, ¿eh?
I guess some things never change.
Sin utopía, o sea,
They
sin
just
distopía ni
stop
nada.
being visible for long enough for us to forget about them.
Jolín. ¿Y dónde está su
And
pequeña
where's your
tienda de
tent now?
campaña ahora?
It was stolen from me a while back.
Se la robaron, por
They fetch a
supuesto.
good price on the black market now.
Stolen? But how could anyone...
You seem to be new in the camp,
Sí,
am I right?
somos
These things
novatos, nos
happen
falta calle.
nowadays.
Nos falta
It's
calle.
best to take things as they come. The reality of the new world is very simple, son. The soldiers and the moles do whatever they like on this side of the fence. And the hunter and his men run the black market and all the dirty rackets. I suggest you memorize all this.
The hunter?
Vale.
I've exchanged a few words with him, but I hardly know him. Yes. The man who protected me during all the shooting. He seems like someone with good connections and some answers. Could he know anything about the drug for treating the dissolved? Do you know where I can find him?
You can find him in those barracks
En el
at the
barracón,
back.
claro.
That's his, well, let's say it's his logistics office. Now, the hunter is very dangerous.
Centro de
Watch your
operaciones.
step around him and his men. I happened to meet his father when he was young. He was a violent, degenerate son of a bitch. A
Qué bien.
real asshole.
Otro personaje un poco
I'm afraid his
traumatizado,
son has
supongo.
followed in his footsteps.
Estupendo.
Let's talk about
Vamos a hablar de
something
otra
else.
cosa, va. ¿Existe alguna forma de poder salir
So
del
tell me,
campo?
is there any way to get out of the camp?
No creo. Se entra, pero no
I'm
se sale.
sorry, son. The only way to get out of this camp is to know someone important who can pull strings for you. Or to become a camp mole. Those traitorous
No, paso de
scumbags
ser
have
topo,
gate
gracias.
passes.
I see.
I'm not surprised you want to get out of this shithole. You've no doubt got something to do or someone to find out there. Or to say
Sí,
things are better in the
a mí
city.
mismo,
That
creo.
there's order and that things are starting to function again. But who knows? Well, at least they have Reverend Blake and the consolation of Suicide Park.
Suicide Park? What?
Suicide Park? What's that?
Nah, just a song that drifts into the refugee camp from the other side of the fence now and then. And the first dark stars come out to hang from the sky. We could sit and count them together, you and I, when the sun departs from Suicide Park. I'm sure you still have some hopes, some dreams.
Acabo de despertarme
I'm
después de
afraid
ni se
you're
sabe,
just too young to understand it.
pero creo que no.
Who's
A ver, ¿quién
Reverend
es el
Blake?
padre Blake?
He's a preacher. He sometimes comes from the city to bring us a little comfort. Now, some
vale.
people make jokes about him, but many of us believe that he's a prophet. You should hear him speak sometime. His
Bueno, igual,
words etch
algún día le oigo
themselves
hablar, no
deeply
sé.
into your soul. That's why he has so many followers inside and outside the camp.
And what was the extent
O
of
sea,
the
que hay
Great
una
Wave's
secta y
impact?
todo, estupendo.
How are things beyond the city?
Capitalismo, secta,
Truth
todo
is, I
bien.
couldn't tell you. In the
Todo muy
first
bien.
days, the chaos was so overwhelming that no one worried about anything beyond their own backyard. We victims were disoriented, cut off from the world. Then I came into the camp and news from far-off places doesn't reach this prison. I'm afraid you'd have to leave here to get the answer to that question.
Sí, parece una cosa fácil de hacer. Gracias. Tengo que
I should be
marcharme.
going on my way. Have a pleasant wait, mister.
Que vaya bien, señor.
Dozens of stored drums stacked chaotically. What the devil could be in them? And who might want to keep them here?
Que digo yo. Nos tienen a nosotros durmiendo ahí en el...
Dented, dirty, and in pretty bad shape. In this corner
Pero
of the
este
camp,
señor
there are
está
drums
durmiendo en la
stored
calle y es
everywhere
un
you look.
ancianito. No sé. Vale, vamos a empujar la hilera de bidones a ver qué pasa.
Okay, here goes. It's impossible to budge these drums at all. I don't know what they contain, but whatever it is, it weighs a ton.
Que digo yo que para estar tan ciclado has
Someone
perdido
placed a
masa
bunch of those
muscular,
rusty drums up against the wall. Ugh, they smell like liquor and industrial oil. Oh, Jesus, the cocktail of odors is nauseating.
Este es un poco delicado, también os lo digo. Me parece que este señor es un poco delicado. ¿Dónde está el cable? Ah. Vamos a entrar al edificio de ladrillo a ver qué pasa. Ah, es un bar. Vamos a recoger basura, venga. Las latas vacías a la saca, como buena aventura gráfica. Claro que sí.
Stain from spilled drinks, rings from glasses and rust. The bartender looks out from the other side, seemingly bored and apathetic.
What are you having, pal?
Nope, I'm afraid I don't have any cash on me.
That's no problem here. We don't only accept cash, we also
mira,
barter.
trueques.
We accept
¿Ves? Eso tiene
anything
más
of value.
sentido, gracias.
That excludes checks, naturally.
Interesting place. Are you the owner?
No, pal, don't get the wrong idea. I only work here. This belongs to the hunter, like every other business enterprise here inside the camp. He's the head honcho.
I
Es
see.
el gran jefe. ¿Qué
What do you
clase de
sell
productos
here?
vendéis
Anything
aquí?
you can eat or drink. Anything that fits into a box or a bottle. For other types of goods, talk to the hunter directly. What do you need? Liquor, tobacco, food?
At the moment, I don't need anything like that.
Hombre,
I'll keep it in
comida
mind.
siempre, ¿no?
Thank you.
Este no es como yo, que necesita comida constantemente. Dios, qué malas sonamos. He visto muchos barriles apilados a la entrada del edificio, solo
Saw a
por
bunch of
curiosidad.
barrels stacked
¿Qué
up at the
cojones
entrance of
tienen
the
dentro?
building.
¿Qué cojones
Just out
de
of
postura?
curiosity, what's in them?
Nothing. Just some things that need to be stored. Take my advice, pal. Keep your nose out of the hunter's business if you want to keep it on your face.
Okay, it was
Vale,
just curiosity.
vale. Aquí no se puede preguntar nada, ¿eh? A ver, ¿qué clientes os caen mejor? Aquí tenemos al cazador y luego tenemos a estos dos que tienen pinta de ser gente muy simpática.
That's the background music for the establishment. The speaker is cranking out a dreary, droning country song, and it's getting on my nerves.
Muy delicado este señor, muy delicado.
What a pointless waste of time. The rag he's using to wipe it down is even dirtier than the surface of the bar itself.
Bueno, pero o sea, aunque la bayeta esté más sucia que la barra, ese gesto de intentar lavar la barra es como que le da un encanto especial al sitio.
The cheerful patrons of the bar. I suppose the gray substance one of them is sipping is
Nah.
liquor, but I can't tell what kind. I don't think he can either.
Okay.
Hey, that's the guy I was talking to during the shooting by the cleanup brigades. What did he say his name was? The Hunter?
The Hunter. Hank the Hunter.
Mike, my friend, it's nice
Mike.
to see you again.
Esas confianzas, ¿eh? Esas
Hi,
confianzas.
guys. This is my friend Mike. He's new around here. We met at one of the cleanup brigade's latest parties. Isn't that right, dude? Pull up a seat and have a drink. We like to be hospitable to newcomers.
Something tells me I shouldn't accept that
Sí,
drink.
sí,
That
sí.
it's not a good
Sí, no,
idea.
no vamos a
Not
beber nada
anymore.
aquí porque...
No thanks. I don't drink.
Okay, Mike. Whatever you say. But I'm not accustomed to people turning down a drink.
Yo.
At least, not in my own establishment, in front of my men. So tell me, what brings you here?
¿Por
Tell
qué te
me.
llaman el cazador?
Why do they call you the Hunter?
That's a good question, Mike. You know my real name is Hank, but no one calls me that anymore. Now I'm the Hunter, because I can find you what you want, when you want it. You know, it doesn't matter where it is, how fast it runs, or where it tries to hide. The new world gave me a new name and a new life.
A new life?
Yeah, a new life.
¿Y qué era antes
It's hard
este
to
señor?
explain, dude. But I think in a way, you and I are similar, Mike. That's why I like you. Let me explain it to you.
Suena
It was the
friendly, sí.
Great Wave.
No me fío,
The
no me
Great
fío,
Wave
madre
that
mía, es que no me fío
changed and
nada.
purified everything. The old world was a messy, complicated, and
Eso sí que es
unjust
verdad, el
place.
mundo es un lugar sucio,
After the
complicado e
Great Wave,
injusto.
everything became
Aunque no
crystal
sé si se
clear.
volvió más
When
claro y
all the
sencillo.
old laws disappeared, only one rule remained.
Jolín, no voy a
You
conseguir que
gotta
veáis
do
un texto entero.
what you gotta do. It's that simple. And that's the universal law that puts each of us in our rightful place. Do you follow me?
You gotta do
Uno
what you
hace lo
gotta
que tiene
do.
que hacer, no
Sounds
mola.
like a handy way to justify anything and
Correcto.
everything, even the indefensible. Yes,
Correcto.
I follow you perfectly.
I knew it. I knew you'd get it straight off, Mike. But don't call me Hank. I told you, that guy died in the Great Wave.
Un amigo está en problemas. Necesito saber si existe un
A
remedio para
friend of
los
mine is in a bad
disueltos
way.
y cómo
I need to
conseguirlo.
know if there's a drug that can help the dissolved.
Pero no
and
vayas
how to
por ahí
get it.
diciendo
A
esto,
friend of yours,
señor
huh?
Mike. O
Friendship is
sea,
important, Mike. The camp is a very tough place.
ay, Dios mío.
And you have to be loyal to your people. I like your gesture.
No hay tanta
Do
gente.
I know this person?
No.
No, I don't think so.
I see. Well, look, dude, I've heard something about that cure, but I don't know if it's true or just a camp legend. Sometimes desperation leads to wishful thinking. You know how it is. But
Sí,
if
claro.
that drug exists, I can think of only one place you'd be able to find it.
Where?
There's a
Tell me,
small
tell me.
medical center on the outskirts of the city. It's more like a pharmaceutical warehouse, but it's heavily guarded. I bet my bottom dollar that's where they keep anything that valuable. Maybe you should take a look at that building. If you can
Pero no
find a
sé
way
cómo.
out of this
Claro,
hellhole,
exacto.
that is. And I can't help you with that.
Pues vaya
You know I
conseguidor de
like you.
mierda.
Let me give you a piece of advice.
Si no puedes
Stay
conseguirme
away
justo
from
lo que
those
quiero.
untouchables. From the dissolved.
Mantente alejado de los
They
apuestos o
won't
los
bring you
disueltos.
anything
No
but
pueden
trouble.
traerte nada nuevo, nada bueno. Hombre, pues yo qué sé. Es un nene.
What more can you tell me about the dissolved?
A ver qué
Only
me
what the
cuentas.
authorities say. And that's all I need to know.
Bueno,
the disease is
la
fatal.
enfermedad es mortal y
And
dicen
they
que
say
se
you can
contagia
catch
con
it
tan
just by
solo
breathing
respirar
next to
cerca
one
de
of
uno.
those untouchables.
Entonces ya estoy
That's
muerto.
why they have to get rid
Todo
of
bien.
them as soon as possible. Have you ever seen one of those poor
¿Has
suckers
visto morir a alguno de
die?
esos desgraciados,
No.
hermano?
I
No.
haven't.
Well, you're lucky, Mike. I don't recommend it. It's a
Es un
horrible
espectáculo
spectacle. It goes something
desagradable.
like this. After
Esto sucede de
weeks
esta
of
forma.
drifting in
Después
and
de
out of
semanas
their
entrando y saliendo de
trances,
sus trances,
something
algo pasa dentro del
happens
cuerpo de esos
inside their
enfermos.
bodies. Something
Algo se
fails
rompe de
all of a sudden.
repente.
The pain makes them kick and scream like
Tras
pigs
gritar y
in a
patalear por el dolor como cerdos en el
Then
matadero,
their
su carne
flesh
empieza a
begins to
derretirse
melt, to become
y
liquid.
licuarse.
Do you understand, Mike? That's why they gave it
Por
that
eso les
name.
dio ese nombre.
They
Literalmente se
literally
disuelve.
dissolve.
Vale, ahora lo entiendo.
But that's terrible. Those poor people.
On the contrary, dude, those bastards spread the plague.
O sea,
It's them or us. Understand? Anyway,
malnacidos
you know
tampoco,
how
¿qué
it
culpa
works.
tendrán?
The cleanup
Las brigadas
brigades
de
tend to
limpieza
be
suelen
more
ser
than
más que generosas
generous
con
with
los ciudadanos
responsible
responsables.
citizens who
Este es
help
un
them with their
topo,
mission of
pero
tracking
vamos.
down the dissolved.
Este es un topo, pero vamos.
And can't you get hold of some of that drug for me?
I don't get mixed up in things like that,
No
dude.
mezclo esos
The army
asuntos.
has made it very clear. Helping or hiding the dissolved will be severely punished. Not even collaborators are free from reprisals. You saw what happened to that mole. Those pigs are ruthless about this.
What are you talking about, those pigs?
That's camp slang. The soldiers, the cleanup brigades.
O sea, este
The
mucho
inhabitants
respetito,
of
pero
this
luego los llama
shithole call
cerdos.
anyone with a
Los
rifle and
habitantes
a
de este
uniform
color llaman
a
cerdo a
pig.
cualquier persona
They
que
can
lleve
blow your
rifle y
head off
uniforme
right on the
y
spot
pueda
with
volarte la cabeza sin el
impunity.
menor remordimiento. Hombre, como no sé. Es como vivir en los Estados Unidos.
I should be going now.
Vamos a
Fine,
ver.
Mike. You're welcome anytime. Remember, dude, here we can get you whatever you need.
No, porque quiero
No
las medicinas
questions
y no me lo has... O sea, no me mientas. Hank, hermano. Bro, tío. Bro, no me mientas, bro.
Someone went to all the trouble of taking the hood off an old Corvette and dragging it in here, just to turn it into a tacky bar table.
A mí me gusta, es muy industrial lo de la mesa. Hola, Creila, salutaciones. Muy bien. Bueno, en realidad deberíamos ir cortando porque ya llevo un buen rato. Pero sí, estamos jugando al Dead Synchronicity. Un juego español que, como ves, es aventura gráfica point and click. Y lo tenía ahí como pendiente desde hace un montón de tiempo. Estamos ahí rollo distopía. Tenemos a este señor que se supone que se llama
It's a
Michael.
thick cable that runs along that building's roof, but I can't see it very well from here.
Sí, me he perdido
It's
la
too high.
alerta, no te preocupes. Gracias por estar alerta. Pero nada, eso, estamos jugando videojuegos españoles, que ya sabes que este mes lo dedicamos a videojuegos españoles. Os recuerdo también que estamos jugando al Blasphemous en el Doki Doki, que la semana que viene tenemos programa. Y nada, estaba aquí viendo a ver si me aclaro en este mundo infernal. Ha habido, como ves, una catástrofe bastante gorda y nada, nos hemos despertado, estamos totalmente amnésicos. O sea, este señor, Mike. Pensamos que nos llamamos Michael, pero no lo sabemos. Había una señora que nos llamaba Michael, en la oscuridad de... Esto parece un... Y luego nos pasan estas cosas que me pegan unos sustos que flipas. Pero vamos, que no llevamos mucho del juego, ¿eh?
While everything around me is transformed.
Good God. I think I'm starting to lose my mind.
Sí. Esto parece un muro de ejecuciones. ¿Cómo lo veis?
Dozens of bullet marks and some trails of fresh blood dripping down the wall. Oh my God. This corner of the camp stinks of gunpowder.
¿Pensáis que podría él solo, Michael, él solito, hacer la deducción? ¿O qué? Tengo que deciros que no sé si en este juego se puede morir. No tiene pinta.
Maybe this leather saddlebag contains tools for motorcycle maintenance. Like a... Whew. Well, I'm sure I could drive it. I have no idea how these machines work.
Ya estamos viendo. Gracias.
A small
Michael.
military sentry box with no door. So narrow that the soldier on duty can hardly turn around inside.
¿Y no podemos hablar con los guardias?
It's the trio of soldiers who guard the camp. And if their expressions are anything to go by, they're as violent and unyielding as the barbed wire surrounding this dump.
Me recuerdan a los militares. ¿Habéis jugado al Stalker? Los militares del Stalker que están puto locos y básicamente van por ahí tiroteando a diestro y siniestro. Because yes.
Where do you think you're going, Rat? No one leaves here without a pass, unless it's with a bullet between the eyes.
Yes, and we can take care of
Me
that
encanta
for you
porque
if
los
you don't
militares
get away
tienen la
from
cabeza
that
como
cage.
cuadrada
Come
aplastada.
on, stick your neck out. We could use a little entertainment tonight.
What's the matter, Rat? Cat got your tongue?
I think it's best if I get away from the gate. I'm afraid their threats are deadly serious. Sorry, guys. I'm not looking for trouble.
Pero ¿por qué me llamáis
Why are you
rata?
calling me rat?
No os he hecho nada
Who's
todavía.
in charge here?
Well, did you hear that? It looks like we have a new kid on the block. Let me ask you something. If you people living in this camp crawl around in garbage, build your houses out of garbage, and eat garbage, what else are we going to call you?
We're in charge here. The ones
Que
with the
estamos
rifles.
nosotros los que
That's
llevamos el
the only
rifle.
rule
Es
you
la
need
única
to know.
norma que debes
See all
conocer.
those dark stains on the wall next to the
Sí,
barbed
habíamos
wire?
deducido que esas manchas oscuras en la pared
Yes,
eran
I see.
fusilamientos.
They're the guts and brains of rats like you who
Testos de
forgot the
tripas y sesos de
golden
ratas
rule.
como tú que
We
olvidaron la
call it the
norma.
wall of
Lo
shame.
llamamos el muro
We're
de la
in
vergüenza.
charge here. That's pretty easy
Muy
to
bien.
grasp, isn't it? But sometimes one of you forgets.
Algunos
And that
olvidan
gives us
que
some
ganan
more
ellos.
motivation to make
Nos
you
obliga a
better
esforzarnos para hacer de
students.
vosotros
So,
alumnos más
how's your
aplicados.
memory?
My memory.
Wow, ¿qué tal está tu memoria?
In another context,
¿Qué tal
that would be
está
an
tu
amusing
memoria?
question,
Y
but
justo
there's
ha
nothing
ido
amusing about
a
these
topar con
animals.
un
My
amnésico.
memory works well enough to remember who is in charge here. Don't worry.
You
Vale.
catch on fast, Rat.
Estos
That's a
también
good
son
thing.
friendly, sí,
Now get
exactamente,
out of here.
Pepaco. Muy friendly. A ver. Bonita
Nice
moto.
motorcycle.
It is, isn't it? It's ours. So get anywhere near it, and you'll end up against that
Pues nada,
wall.
muchas gracias.
You don't
Fue un
have the
placer.
authority to touch it, or point at it, or even look at it.
No
Dare
podemos
to
ni
touch it with
mirarla,
your
o sea,
grubby
bien.
hands, and you're a dead man. I guarantee it.
Ok.
Okay, understood.
Joder, y tan friendly. Dices que solo puedo salir del campo con un
You
pase.
said that I
¿Dónde
can
puedo
only get out of the
conseguir uno?
camp with a pass. Where can I get
Me
one?
parece que en ningún
Only
sitio.
soldiers and moles have passes for entering and leaving the camp. And you don't look like either one of those things. So get lost.
Well, sometimes we can make an exception,
Podemos hacer
but
una
only if the
excepción, pero
person who
solo
wants
si
to leave
quien
is
quiere salir
generous
lo
enough.
suficientemente
And why
generoso.
exactly do you want to leave the refugee camp? What did you lose on the other
Tengo que
side of
perder al
the
otro lado de
fence,
la valla
rat?
rata.
So,
He oído que en la ciudad
I've
las
heard
cosas
things are
están
better in the
mejores,
city.
¿verdad?
Is that true?
Yeah, it could be.
Sí, puede
But
ser.
that's none of your business. What do you care if you're going to die in this dump
Pues
anyway?
muchas
Get
gracias.
the idea of leaving right out of your head. There's no place for rats like you on the other side of the fence.
Pero vamos a
Unless you
ver,
want to take a walk
que
in
no os he hecho
Suicide
nada.
Park. Do you want to become a Dark Star rat?
Now quit bothering us and
Lo
get
del
lost.
Suicide Park Suicide, o sea, no sé.
I just want to help a friend's kid, that's all.
Heartwarming. Really
Espero que no se les ocurra investigar porque vamos por aquí.
Why don't you bring your friend and his
Exacto,
kid
nos
with you?
vamos... sí.
We'd be happy to let all three of you leave.
Really?
No.
Of course, Rat. We love target practice.
Eso sí, vale.
I promise to
Practicas
give
de
you
tiro al
guys a
arco, sí.
running start.
Yeah, we'll give you a few yards start. That would make it more fun.
I get the impression I'm talking to two armed psychopaths.
Sí, son dos psicópatas armados,
Unbelievable.
es cierto.
Who put these guys in charge?
¿Quién ha podido
of
encargar la vigilancia del
I'm
campo?
afraid it doesn't
Pero
seem
este
like
hombre,
such a good idea.
¿dónde vivía y con quién
Thanks
antes
for the
de...
suggestion. I won't bother you anymore.
Get lost.
Antes del apocalipsis? Porque vamos, yo esto de psicópatas con armas, en fin, es extrañamente familiar. Y si encima, pues eso, van vestidos con uniforme, pues... No sé. Creo que me entendéis, ahí lo dejo. A ver. Venga. ¿Podemos ir para allá? No hemos cogido nada, ¿no? Latas de cerveza vacías. Y la botella de whisky. Mira, se lo podemos dar
This
al
guy
señor
already has
Diógenes.
enough junk in his shopping
Ya,
cart. He
también
doesn't
es
need these
verdad.
cans.
También es verdad. Que este señor ya tiene muchas latas. Pero lo de los trueques no me lo han acabado de explicar. Yo quería proponerles un trueque. El inventario es muy triste. La verdad es que es curioso porque a nivel estético, como el rollo este maleta, me recuerda un poco al del Salmon Max, que también es una maleta. Pero claro, no tiene que ver.
Hey, you guys. Hello again, pal. Have you come back to spend some time with Rose, or do you just enjoy wasting our time?
Ay, ojalá fuera la segunda.
Is that an electric generator? I've seen very few of these around here.
Yeah, in this hellhole, you can count them on the fingers of one hand.
Nowadays, you can't buy generators like this anywhere.
se pueden
And with the
comprar.
power grid all blown to hell, you can bet that one of these is worth more than your life.
We use it to light Rose's room. We like to protect our, investments.
Hijos
So
de
don't get too
puta.
close to it. These things are very fragile, and they have a bad habit of getting lost. Now, we wouldn't want that to happen, would we?
Mira, estos me caen mal. Que Pepapco me preguntaba antes, ¿qué tal te caen los personajes? Estos señores me caen muy mal. Y bueno, esperemos a ver qué es lo siguiente que metemos en el inventario, que ya veremos.
Let me into the van. I just want to talk to Rose for a few minutes.
Of course, it's none of our business what you want to do with her. But if you go into the van, you gotta pay the price.
Estos
Got
son
any money on
proxenetas, Creila.
No, I don't have any on me.
Then
Tienen a
come
una
back when
pobre
you do and quit
cría,
bothering
una
us.
pobre
We have
chica
a very busy
traumatizada
schedule, you know.
The
dentro
girl
de
said
la
something about a secret involving me.
de la
Something from
furgoneta
before the
y
Great
quisiera
Wave.
yo.
It seemed important. But what is it? Maybe it was a product of her madness. But I
Obviamente
need
está
to talk to her
traumatizadísima
inside
porque
that van
hola,
to get some
apocalipsis
answers. I'll
y
come back with the
cosas.
money.
Now that sounds much better. I see that we're starting to speak the same language.
También te digo que este señor tampoco ha sido en plan de no, esta chica pobrecita voy yo que sé a intentar ayudarla a escapar o no. Que sabe algo de mí y yo no lo
I
sé.
don't have anything more to discuss with you.
No me va a dejar entrar, ¿verdad? Voy a poder. ¿Y si le tiro las latas al generador? Oh, espera.
Better not. If these guys are unpleasant sober, I had to
Sí, eso
imagine
es
them
cierto.
drunk.
Pero igual puedo hacer un trueque con los del bar. Al fin y al cabo es una botella de whisky. Es que no sé, de repente me parece que una botella de whisky es como una moneda, como un objeto bastante interesante. Porque no está rota, ni en fin, ni es como beber, no sé, mierda, que es lo que están viviendo en el bar y cosas así. De repente me parece como algo muy interesante.
Greetings, pal. What's this? Are you proposing a trade?
Sí.
Because if you are, you came to the right place. What do you need? Liquor? Cigarettes? Food?
At the moment, I don't need anything like that. But I'll keep it in mind. Thank you.
Ah, ya está.
I doubt he needs my bottle of whiskey. He's been drinking since I came in here.
Vale. Bueno, pues si necesitamos algo, pues lo podemos dar. Vale, vamos a volver a ver.
Hello, mister. Are you still waiting?
I still am. That's all I can do at this point, don't you agree?
A este señor me da una penica.
I should be going on my way. Have a pleasant wait, mister.
Venga. Me gustaría hablar con nuestro amigo Atkinson.
It's Colin, but dissolved. It's shocking to see one up close. I'm ashamed to admit that I'm afraid of catching it, but I'm glad there's a pane of glass between us right now. Colin's mother. I can't imagine her anguish watching her son's life slipping away without being able to do anything.
Vale, entonces necesito dinero. ¿Puedo usar esto para...?
They're used and dented. I can't figure out how to use the cans with this.
Ya, también es verdad. Supongo que el mendigo no me dirá nada nuevo, pero... No.
Well, I'll be going on my way.
Este es el típico personaje que te cuenta las cosas.
Just be sure to stay away from my things.
Aunque probablemente tengamos que usar de nuevo esa información si nos deja seguir usándola. Yo creo que el guardarropas estaba ya vacío, pero vamos a ver. Sí. Se han currado el reflejo, está guay. Vale. Es que conseguir dinero no parece una cosa muy fácil de hacer.
Clean and well maintained. This bike is without a doubt the best looking object in the entire refugee camp. Although, that's not saying much considering the disastrous condition of everything around me.
Sí, la verdad es que todo tiene una pinta bastante horrible. ¿Qué pensáis? Si intento salir...
This wall looks like it's witnessed a good number of executions, to say nothing of murders.
Ah, mira, ¿se puede ir por aquí? No, pero me vuelve al otro sitio, ¿no? Ah, no. Explorad siempre el mapa muy bien. Cuando estéis jugando una aventura gráfica, hacedme caso.
Someone knocked over that enormous bookcase with all its books, and considering what it must have weighed, several people must have been involved in all this. Nothing of interest. The floor of the room is littered with useless junk like this. But wait a minute. I think I can see something sticking out from under that piece of wood.
Hey! You filthy rat! Get out of my house! Do you hear me? Out!
Espera, señora, que quiero hablar con usted.
We've got nothing left for you to steal. Go back to your sewer, you filthy rat. Scram.
Vale.
No, you've got it all wrong. I haven't come to take anything.
Bueno, luego nos llevaremos los cigarrillos, que lo sepáis.
I recognize you. Weren't you with the man they shot out there a while back?
Yes. My name is Misha, and that man is my husband.
¿Qué ha pasado? ¿Por qué han disparado?
But what happened? Why did they shoot your husband?
It's all your fault. All because of you cap rats. One of you reported him for harboring a dissolved. And those army pigs opened fire without even caring who they were aiming at, or how hard my husband had worked for them.
So the lady the cleanup brigades took away from this house was a dissolved.
That was my mother. I'm never gonna see her again. Damn filthy rats. Are you satisfied?
O sea, que el
It
rollo
was you
aquí,
people that brought death to this
el
family.
rollo aquí, como siempre, es que han conseguido enfrentar a las personas del campo contra las personas del campo, y si eres topo tienes ventajas, pero además tienes como la paranoia de que alguien te denuncie si te pasa como a esta señora, y si no eres topo pues te pudres del asco. Qué bien.
Why is everything all over the floor? Were you robbed?
¿Os han robado o qué?
They left us nothing. Those envious rats took everything. They'd been hanging around waiting for days. It seems like those bums have a sixth sense about where dissolved is being
O sea, me
hidden.
encanta que les
When
llame
they saw my
vagabundos, pero
husband
ella qué
injured
es.
and lying on the ground, they forced their way in and looted our house.
Bums? Envious rats?
Claro,
What are you
¿de
talking
quién
about
hablas?
exactly?
Los militares.
Them! All of them! Everyone living here in this camp envies us. They envy who we are, what we have, our privileges, our army contacts.
So they envy you because your husband is a mole. Is that right?
Don't call him that, you worm!
Pero es que es un
He
topo.
collaborates with the forces of law and order. That's his job.
Sí,
and
pues
in this
mira para qué le
collaboration
sirve,
with
¿sabes?
law enforcement, wasn't turning in others of the dissolved one of your husband's duties?
Shut up! Shut up! You envy us too! You're just like the rest of the rats in this camp. And what are the three of us gonna do when my husband's gone? We'll lose everything! The house, the money, our privileges.
Has dicho los tres, exacto.
You said the three of us. Is there someone else in the family?
We have 2 children, 2 small boys. And in this camp, envy eats
La
away
envidia
at
corroe a
everybody.
todos. Por eso
Now
nos
we'll be outcasts.
convertimos en unos apestados.
No one will help us when my husband is
Nadie nos
gone.
ayudará
Winter
cuando
will
termine
come.
el verano.
Our
Pues
money
claro,
will
pues es
run
que
out. And my children will starve. Those 2 brats wear me down
esos dos
with their
aprendices de demonio me
antics.
ponen
I have to
nervioso con
chase
sus
after them all the
travesuras. Me obligan a
time.
estar
But they're my
detrás de ellos todo
children.
el día.
And none of
Pero
this
son
is
mis
their
hijos
fault.
y no tienen culpa de nada. Eso es cierto.
How
¿En
is
qué
your
estado se
husband?
encuentra tu
He's
esposo?
badly injured.
Está muy mal
One of the
herido.
bullets went
Una
through
de
his
las balas le
stomach.
atravesaba el estómago.
He's not gonna make
No
it.
sobrevivirá.
He's really suffering.
Pues
He's in
no.
excruciating
Supongo que
pain.
no.
If we at least had some morphine to ease his pain.
Morfina. Pues yo te la
What
consigo.
privileges are you going to lose?
As a collaborator, my husband always received special treatment from the army. More generous rations of food and water. A little
mira,
money,
agua y-
clothes, a treat now and then for the kids. And now all of that's gonna end. We won't be able to leave
Bueno,
the
te
camp.
puedes convertir en un
When he
topo tú.
dies, they'll take away his gate pass. We'll die locked up in here. Like you rats.
Did she say a gate
Eso es
pass?
interesante.
Listen, Misha, I can help you.
And just how are you gonna help us, rat?
Si dejas de llamarme rata, te lo cuento. Misa.
Other side of the fence. While I'm out there, I could also get some morphine for your husband. I've heard that things are better in the city. It shouldn't be too hard for me to find some. But first, I need to get out of the camp.
Like I told you, my husband has a pass that gets him through the gate. I could lend it to you, but I don't trust you. I don't trust you or any other filthy rat in this camp. Beat it! Get out of here!
If I want to get my identity back, I need that drug for the
Para
dissolve.
conseguirlo necesito salir
And to
del
get
campo.
it,
Ya lo sé.
I have
eso
to leave the
no-
camp. I have to do whatever it takes to gain this woman's trust. No matter how unpleasant I find her screams and insults.
Sí,
Listen,
muy simpática no
I'm
es.
not just another camp rat. I'm your friend. I want to be your friend. You told me you were worried about winter coming. Let me help you. I'll bring you food. Food for your children. Then will you trust me?
I don't know. Bring me the food first. First you
Ah,
bring me
qué
food for my
lista.
children, and then we'll talk about that pass.
I'll do it.
Ah, mira, lo he escrito aquí delante para que esté todo en orden. Oye, me gusta esto del... O sea, no es muy realista, pero es bastante...
While she's here in the room, that woman is not going to let me touch anything in this house.
Ya, si quiero su confianza, igual no es lo más adecuado. Ah, mira, los nenes.
It's an old wooden pallet those kids painted a target on. The word pigs is scrawled in the center. One of the many sentry towers surrounding the camp. And inside each and every one of them, there's a sniper, armed to the teeth and itching to shoot something.
Mira, tú qué bien.
That must be that strange phenomenon in the sky I've heard people talking about in the camp. The one that appeared just after the Great Wave. God is urging his angels to
Mira,
punish
mamá,
us
se ve
through
mi
the
casa.
wound. It says in the notebook I found in Rod's trailer.
Aquí está. Mi casa. Aquí es donde vivimos nosotros, creo.
Oh no. It's starting again. It's amazing. Everything's changing. Everything.
Sí, está incluso peor.
Everything is mutating, and I haven't even moved. I don't understand. I don't understand anything.
Yo tampoco, la verdad.
Hi, kids.
Hello, sir.
What are you up to?
We're doing target practice. We're going to be real good shots. Someday we'll get those pigs who shot Dad.
How awful. These children must have seen the cleanup brigades shoot their father out there.
Wow, qué juego más
And how's the
intenso, de
target
verdad.
practice going?
Bad at the moment. We need a real target, or we'll never be able to hit those soldiers.
Yeah, we need a better target. Hey, quit talking to that rat. He's not one of us. You know what Mom and Dad say about the people in the camp. Leave my brother alone. Get lost, rat.
Yeah, you're not one of us. Get lost, rat.
One of us.
I'm not going to pick them up. I'm sure it took the kids a long time to collect all those rocks
Sí,
for
la
the
verdad.
target practice.
Mira, por no haber tenido en
Besides,
consideración
I
este
bet my
señor.
aim is
Está bien.
worse than theirs.
El palé pintado. Vale, necesitan una diana. Y esta mujer
Better
necesita...
Knowing what's inside that room, I have no interest in going in.
Está señor muriéndose. Bueno, pues vámonos. Voy a intentar hacer un trueque por comida, porque me ha dicho el del bar que podía pedirle comida y tengo whisky, así que vamos a cambiar whisky por comida. Ah, mira. Clásico sistema de doble clic teletransporte. Ojalá en la vida real.
Greetings, pal. What's this? Are you proposing a trade? Because if you are, you came to the right place. What do you need? Liquor? Cigarettes? Food?
I'm still interested in that box of food you offered me. I brought you this.
Let me see. It's a good brand of whiskey.
Claro, solo lo mejor
But the
para ti.
bottle's been opened, and there's a lot missing. I'd take it, but I'd need something more.
Vaya, no podía ser tan fácil, ¿verdad?
Too bad, pal. Come back with something more than just that bottle, and the food's yours. You know how it works. We accept everything. Cash, jewelry, liquor, cigarettes.
Vale. ¿Podremos llevarnos los cigarrillos? O igual podemos hacer que la señora se vaya.
While she's here in the room, that woman is not going to let me touch anything in this house.
¿Y no podéis llamar a mamá?
Hi, kids. How's the target practice going?
Bad at the moment. We need a real target, or we'll never be able to hit
espérate,
those
si yo tengo
soldiers.
latas
Yeah,
vacías.
we need a better target. Hey, you know what? Leave my brother
alone.
Yeah, you're not one of us. Get lost, rat.
Vale, vale, espera, mira. ¿Y si os doy latas? Que con las latas podéis hacer tiro al blanco guay. ¿Qué os parece? Eso mola, ¿eh?
Thank you. Now we'll really be able to become the best shots in the camp.
So now you're saying this rat isn't a rat?
¿Ya no soy una rata?
No, I'm not. My name is Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Creo.
So tell me, why do you want to throw rocks at those soldiers?
Mierda, me
We
estoy
have to
liando.
get
Llevo ya 2
revenge.
horas
We're
jugando.
big
Hola.
boys now, and that's what we gotta do. Those pigs shot our dad. We heard him screaming. He's hurt real bad.
Claro, están preocupados por su
Mom
papá,
said we'll
normal.
never see him again.
Damn pigs! My brother and I are gonna get them. All of them.
But when they were Dad's friends, you used to say you wanted to be a soldier when you grew up.
Ya, pero
Shut
eso
up.
fue antes de que
That was
mataran al
before.
papá.
I
Claro.
wish I could reach those watchtowers with my rocks.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
No.
That's not a bad idea. Something tells me that a little commotion along the barbed wire fence would be a good thing for everyone.
Bueno, bien. Ya es muy tarde para unos niños como vosotros.
It's pretty late for kids like you.
Voy a hacer de ciudadano ejemplar.
Hey, we're not kids.
¿No sois
we have
niños?
to practice our
No, claro que no.
marksmanship. Our mom gets real mad when we do it inside the house. It's not like we have anywhere else to go in this dump.
Nowhere else to go?
¿No hay otro sitio?
So you don't go
¿No
to
vais al
school?
colegio? Bueno,
Don't you have any
a ver,
friends
es
from
que este
school?
señor no sabe que ha habido un...
Not since the
Claro,
explosion.
es que...
Our mom says we don't need it anyway. We're big boys now, and someday we'll
Ya.
be very important people in the camp. Just like our dad. That's why
Ya,
we
no
don't
creo.
hang out with the other kids around here. Our parents say they're rats.
Pobrecitos.
They'd be a bad influence on us. Yes, we're going to be brave and strong, like our dad. Right, Michael?
Of course you will.
Of course you will. Bueno, necesito
I need
vuestra
your
ayuda.
help, boys.
How can we help you, Michael?
I have to get something from inside your house. It's something I need so that I can help your father. Understand? But your mother is very agitated, and I need you to give me a hand with her. It's a mission.
What do you want us to do, Michael?
I need you to get your mother out of the house for a few minutes. Just long enough for me to go in and get what I need. Do you think you can do that?
Of course, we're big boys.
I'll owe you.
Ya son
I
mayores.
promise to give you a reward.
Este señor por ahí
let's do
engañando a
it.
todo el
A
mundo.
mission.
Las aventuras gráficas y su sentido de... Bueno,
I'm not going to pick them up. I'm sure. Besides,
bueno, vamos. Aquí ya podemos coger el paquete de cigarrillos y yo creo que con el paquete de cigarrillos y el whisky creo que ya nos sirve. Porque ya si nos pide más, el trueque va a ser un
my
poco...
head! What the hell's going on? Oh, God! My head feels like it's gonna explode!
Michael, please, help us, help us. Please, remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Repent! It's the sun! Was it our fault? Did we do
¿Fuimos
it?
nosotros? Sí, nosotros lo hicimos.
We did it!
Hicimos. ¿Qué está pasando?
Please, Michael, help us. Only you can do it. Remember, Beechwood Oracle.
Good God! What are these images? And that
No sé
woman's
lo que
voice? It's the same one that woke me up in the trailer. I'm trying to remember! Stop tormenting me!
Creo que no lo
I
puedes
hope Rod helps
evitar.
me find some answers. If not, I'll go mad. Absolutely mad.
No sé si tú estás ya... Sí, la cosa se está poniendo ya intensa. O sea, ya me parece un juego intenso de per se con todo lo que estamos viendo. O sea, la normalización de ciertas cosas. Pero ahora ya con esto es como de verdad, nos vamos a volver loques, de verdad, o sea... Bueno, señor.
Hello again. What can I get for you?
Quiero
I'm not really
darte...
Greetings, pal. What's this? Are you proposing a trade? Because if you are, you came to the right place. What do you need? Liquor? Cigarettes? Food?
I'm still
Tengo
interested in
liquor
that
y
box of food you
cigarettes.
offered me. I brought you this pack of cigarettes.
Virginia tobacco. There's not much of this in the camp. That's a good start, but it's not enough. The pack's been open and several cigarettes are missing. I need something more.
Would a bottle of liquor do?
Fantastic. I think that's a fair price. I'll take both of
Muy
them.
bien.
Here you go, pal. The food package is all yours. Enjoy it in good health.
Gracias. Bueno, tampoco es que haya una barbaridad de comida aquí, ¿no?
The box says Government Rescue Campaign. Sales of these foodstuffs is
Sí, prohibida la venta,
I
pero
have
no el
no
trueque.
doubt whatsoever. The hunter and his men must have lost their scruples in the Great Wave.
Wow.
That is, if
Muy
they hadn't
moralista
to
este
begin
señor,
with.
¿eh? Aunque bueno, la verdad es que con los personajes que hay aquí, madre mía. Supongo que es normal, pero estoy todo el rato pensando en The Walking Dead, pero en el cómic, en realidad. En esas diferentes ideas de moral que tienen los personajes. Misa,
Here,
toma.
this is what I promised you.
That's all the food you brought? This will barely feed us for 2 days.
I'm sorry, it's very complicated getting more in the camp. I only wanted to show you that you can trust me, that I can
Venga,
help
puedo
you.
ayudarte.
That's what all you rats in this trash heap say? But in the end, only thing you're interested
Te he
in
traído
is
comida,
taking
niña.
advantage of my husband and me.
I've held up my part of the bargain. Isn't that proof enough? Listen,
Venga.
let me have that pass to get out of the camp. And I promise I'll come back with the morphine you need to ease your husband's suffering.
Ah, okay. But you better hurry. Here.
Vamos a poder salir del campo ya.
It's like an ID badge. Wear it and the soldiers will recognize you. It won't just get you out of the camp. It'll also help you avoid all kinds of problems with the army once you reach the city. I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing by giving it to you. Just don't betray me, you rat. Bring me that morphine from my husband and I promise you, I'll give you lots of money in return. Much more money than you could earn in a lifetime in this shithole.
No, that's not necessary. We never said
A
anything
ver,
about money.
podíamos salvar a Rose y tal.
I don't trust any of you, and I know that money is the only thing that'll make you keep your word. All you camp rats are alike. Now get out of my sight and don't make me regret this. And don't come back without my husband's morphine. There'll be a fat wad of cash waiting for you.
Yo sé que esta mujer está nerviosa y está triste y tal, pero joder, Misa. Estará en la mierda, pero su casa es más grande que el piso de Pepaco, que lo sepáis. Sí, la verdad es que telita, ¿eh? Vaya pedazo de casita tiene. Y encima en un campo que la gente está viviendo directamente en la calle. ¿Y esto cómo lo hacemos? ¿Le damos la pulsera a los guardias?
Go through that gate and I'll blow your head off with one shot, rat.
Do you need to get a closer look at what I have on my wrist?
Vamos de...
One of those ID bracelets the camp moles wear. Those
Vamos de
are very useful
chulos.
to us in here. Lower your gun and let him leave.
You heard him. Get out of here, rat.
Bueno, vale, me piro. Vale, que te den. Pues hemos salido, gente. Hemos salido.
So, I enter the city. It welcomes me with its most merciless and bitter grimace. What I see before my eyes is not what I expected. Doomsday made it here, too. Even if no one in the refugee camp knows it yet. Damn it. The city looks as bruised and battered by the catastrophe as the rest of us.
Como el resto de nosotros. El caso es que las imágenes me quieren sonar. Igual son imágenes reales de conflictos reales. Bueno, creo que ahora sí es la hora de dejarlo aquí y os puedo decir que me cago en todo porque tengo muchas ganas de seguir, pero debería dar por finalizada la partida de hoy porque, en fin. Gracias a vosotros. Os recuerdo, como siempre, que podéis jugar al Blasphemous y contárnoslo ahí en el Discord. Lo que os está pareciendo, que hablamos del Blasphemous en el Doki Doki la semana que viene. Y el jueves tenemos programa. El jueves tenemos podcast y viene un invitado muy especial, que os he dicho que le iba a decir durante el programa, pero al final el juego me ha absorbido, que es Pepaco, Pepe Romero, programador de Péndulo Studios, desarrolladora que sabéis que me encanta, me flipa. Va a estar con nosotros, que yo no me lo creo, el jueves en el podcast, así que no os lo podéis perder. Por favor, os esperamos allí. Y mientras tanto, si queréis, podéis encontrarnos en Twitter, podéis encontrar todas nuestras partidas y todos nuestros programas en YouTube y también en iVoox y en Spotify, todo lo que sea en podcast. Y con esto y un bizcocho me despido de vosotros. Muchísimas gracias por estar ahí en vez de dormir la siesta. Tenéis mucho mérito. Y nos vemos en el siguiente. A ver si hay suerte y puede ser mañana. Chao.